All right, looks like we're good to go. Hang on a sec, guys. That light is not doing me any favors. It's kind of blocking my face on the screen. I want you guys to see clearly. What a great way to start the video, right? Or stream, if you will. So, what is going on, guys? It's your boy, Blu-rayDave, back with another private stream. And I have been kind of like foreshadowing this for a while, if you will. Like, I finally finished the Defender Saga today. I finished the last 3 episodes of Marvel's The Punisher on Disney Plus. Thank God I got into these shows, because I remember when they were announced, I was just like, oh, I'm just going to stay away from that. But boy, was I wrong. 3 months ago, back in July, I started Daredevil, and Daredevil has completely changed my life for the better. Now that Charlie Cox is my all-time favorite British actor, I want to meet him in person so bad now. Like, oh my gosh. And especially because Charlie Cox and Daredevil are very popular and very big deals in Disney and Marvel Studios right now. Like, oh my gosh, he's getting so many deals. Like, oh my gosh, the possibilities are endless. But we are going to talk about the continuity and the canon of the shows, and if they really are canon to the MCU, because back in the day they were. But it's just like, it's been a really long debate. So and also, guys, whatever opinions I talk about with these shows, please do not take these personally. I know I'm going to get some hate comments there down the line. Like, why would you say that? Like, this is a great show. Like, again, we are entitled to our opinions, right? So just do not harass me or give me a hard time, because, like I said, these are my opinions, and I hope my opinions don't affect how you love the shows, okay? And if you love every single show, that's great. Of course, you're going to have pros and cons with shows, whether they're your favorites or they're bad. So yeah, please don't get offended. Also, an Iron Fist rant. I'm going to be discussing, like, why so much hate for that series. Like, come on. I've talked about this probably a few times on the channel here. I remember that show came out second semester of my sophomore year, so 2017, I believe it was March. I remember just being so genuinely excited about this character, because I knew about the character. I'm like, ooh, this looks good. Even if I wasn't like really into these shows, like, you gotta watch them like religiously, like, I genuinely enjoyed it for what it was. So Daredevil was literally my very first mature audience show that I got to watch as a 14-year-old. So, hang on a sec, guys. I might actually do this real quick. My cat keeps coming and going, so if he doesn't want to stay in, that's fine. So you'll leave that closed. So why don't we get started with the very first show that came out early 2015, because let me tell you, Netflix had real competition with their shows in 2015, and I gotta say, Daredevil really won this one, because it's that good. Here, I don't care if I get in trouble with YouTube for this. I'm playing all of these for every show, so here we go. Aw, yeah, boys. It's the theme. I listen to this nonstop. It was nice to hear this again in She-Hulk, which we'll talk about. Good vibes, man. Good vibes. That bugged me a little bit when I first got into the series, like the heartbeat, but it makes sense. It makes sense because I remember the first episode when I was trying to get like, oh, is that a heartbeat? Speaking of which, yeah, Marvel's Daredevil, guys, got the first 2 seasons. Apparently, like I was doing some more research as I was getting into these series in the last 3 months. Like, apparently, Netflix and Marvel Television was supposed to have like a 60 episode package deal, and I'm not sure if they met those what are they called, like agreements or whatever, because I mean it would kind of make sense if they just ended up with Punisher, which I know we'll talk a little bit later about that. Um, I don't know how much facts I could talk about with these shows, like as much as I know, you know. So why don't we get started with Daredevil? Well, why don't we talk a little bit about Ben Affleck's Daredevil? Because sometimes, like when I mention Daredevil to people, they're not familiar with Charlie Cox's, and I don't blame them because if they've seen this movie back in 2003, like I get it. This is when Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner really like clicked. Like this was their movie. I thought they were such a great couple. Like Ben, you're missing out, man. I like you as an actor. You're a pretty great Batman. There's no doubt about that. But it's just when it comes to your personal life, you need to get your crap together, man. Like you should never have married J-Lo in the first place, because apparently what I also found out in recent years is that they've been trying to get together for a long time. She's not worth it, man, honestly. I could see another divorce happening in the future. You really need to focus on your kids more, okay? Your kids are your number one priority, Ben, okay? And Jennifer, oh my gosh, she is awesome. She does a lot for kids, and I want to meet her personally too, because again, I think she's just a genuine nice person. And again, Ben, you are missing out on the greatest woman that you've ever married in your life. So, what was I gonna say? What was the lines of? Oh, and a little bit more about Ben. Like what I didn't know was now this almost convinced me, but I had to do more research. But apparently he was doing some sort of like Christian project. I don't know if it was for a movie, but he talked a little bit about his I hate using this for Christianity because it's a belief, but like yeah, his religious beliefs, okay. If he grew up Catholic, I can understand that because like if you guys know Daredevil lore, I especially oh my gosh. Oh, hang on, guys. Something happened. Okay. Oh my gosh, that was bad. My computer screen. Oh my gosh. Anyways, if you learned like Daredevil lore, like he's Catholic in the comics. I think this role for him in the movie fit him really well because of like if that was the case, then it worked for him. But if he's trying to be Christian, listen, man, I understand. Well, I kind of understand where you're coming from, but it's just you need to do a lot more to redeem yourself. And trust me, man, you have a lot of haters too. So it's a 50% chance. Like he's involved with a lot of movies now in recent years, I've noticed. Or maybe that's just the thing that he's always done, and I'm just not noticing. Probably because I don't spend too much time learning or studying about Ben. But I feel like you can still have potential, Ben. Just you gotta redeem yourself, man. You know, just this is part of your character arc, okay? In your real life, okay? Still, you'll always be my Batman, okay? You're my Batman, all right? Anyways, enough about that. So yeah, I first watched this movie around when did I see this? Because I remember years ago. This used to be on TV too, right? Not the director's cut though, because director's cut is rated R. It was at the ending where Bullseye, which that one I prefer in this movie, killed Elektra, and I remember just the heartbeat And then I remember like Daredevil taking on the Kingpin, which I thought the Kingpin was okay in this movie. He could have done better. Vincent D'Onofrio, though. Oh my gosh. What was I gonna say? So I pretty much saw. It was first introduced to me, if you will, at a young age, probably like 8 or 9, when my dad saw it. And then when I saw this for the first time, the theatrical release, I believe I was 13 or 14. I remember back in the day, I was so against rated R movies just because, like, when they said, oh, there's a director's cut, and I'm like, oh, director's cut, that means it's rated R. It's going to be bad. You know, because I'm 22, I want to expand my horizons with movies, especially rated R movies. But that doesn't mean I'm going to watch every rated R movie that's ever been made, okay, guys? I want to make that clear. But the director's cut is definitely worth it, and this is a 2012 re-release. It makes sense because what I also found out was that, sure, this was made by Fox, right? But Disney got the rights to Daredevil back in 2012, and what a great time, you know, with the MCU kicking off in 2012 with the Avengers. And the popularity of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that's when, you know, Marvel TV really kicked off. But I want to say something, though, guys. Like, okay, these shows are produced by ABC Studios, right? But if these were aired on TV, on ABC, they wouldn't allow all the extra stuff that you would want and expect in a MA show. I was even surprised. Like, there was a few F-bombs that I've heard, but they don't say them a lot. It's usually like, I think with Daredevil, I think with each season they only have one F-bomb, but you could barely hear it. Like, wow, Disney, that's even a new low for you, which we're going to talk about with Luke Cage on their lowest low on what they were doing. Anyways, you know, with Secret Wars coming out in 2025, well, with also like with the whole Warner Brothers shenanigans, which, by the way, congratulations to Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn, who's gonna be CEO of DC Comics now, like DC Entertainment. Like, oh my gosh, like the success of the Suicide Squad, like, come on. Like, that's obviously a winner there. In recent years with the whole Warner Brothers DC thing, like Ben and Henry Cavill had it bad, you know, like I hate DC theories like that as much as anybody else because, sure, when I come up with DC theories, I make sure they're cool, and it makes good content. I want to make sure that you guys enjoy it too. And if you guys follow up with DC news, you know, Warner Brothers kept firing and rehiring. Like, it's kind of like breaking up with Ben and Henry. Like, come on. Warner Brothers, you got to make up your dang minds, okay? So Ben and Henry went to Marvel Studios and talked to Kevin Feige. There's some rumors and speculations going around that a lot of Marvel fans want Henry Cavill to be Captain Britain. Honestly, I think that would be a good role for him. Honestly, because you know he's British, and that's cool. And with Ben, who knows? He might want to come back as Daredevil. But I also want to point this out too. If Jennifer Garner ever came back as Elektra, and if Kevin wanted both their versions of Daredevil and Elektra to come back for the Secret Wars, that is going to be tough for them because I know that Jen doesn't want to work with Ben anymore. And like, still, can you imagine Charlie Cox's Daredevil meeting Ben Affleck's Daredevil? That'd be so cool. Just trying to recollect my thoughts here, guys. Anyways, yeah. So, what else was I going to say? Either way, enough with the whole Warner Brothers DC shenanigans stuff. Let's talk about the show here. And just so we're clear, I'm not going to cover every single episode. I'm just going to talk about the cool moments or some other moments that I, remembered. And remember, this was like 3 months ago. So, like, out of all the shows, I'm definitely going to binge watch Daredevil for sure. So, and I remember the first episode very well because even at, like, I watched it at age 14. That was the only episode I watched. Like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Oh my gosh. I remember, like, Karen Page. Oh my gosh. Love Karen Page. She's Karen, who is not a Karen. I thought she was great. Every time she popped up, like, she just made me happy. I'm sure a lot of you guys felt that way too with Karen Page. We'll get more on her in a little bit. So, like, the first episode immediately starts with Matt and his pastor. It starts with an F. I don't want to say Phantom because it sounds like Phantom with a P. I'll look up the cast to see, like, if I get it right. But I thought his pastor was so cool. And of course, with these Netflix shows, they're gonna have a lot of dodgy stuff to talk about, like the dodgy stuff that we don't like to talk about. That's what I was trying to get at there. I don't know if I can even say this on YouTube. I'll just say it once, just so that you guys can get a good idea what I'm talking about. Like, and if you guys remember the first episode, human trafficking. Okay, he beats up, like, Matt Murdock beats up thugs who are doing that to these women in these big canisters, and he just beats the crap out of them, and I love it. I remembered it kind of bothered me that he had the black suit the first time I saw it, right? I was like, when is he going to get the real suit? But then each episode kept not motivated, but, like, it kept me, like, more interested. Like, you know what? I'm starting to like his black suit. And it's cool that costume is going to get a comeback in Marvel's Spider-Man freshman year. That's going to be cool. Oh my gosh. And I have the props, if you will, for the costume, and that's what I'm going to be this year. I'm going to be Daredevil. And then when he finally gets the real suit in the season finale, that was just so cool. Let's see. Foggy Nelson. Oh my gosh. He is so funny. I did not expect him to be that funny. Like, when Jon Favreau played Foggy in the Daredevil movie, sure, he had some of his moments, but, like, he was, like, kind of being a jerk, I'm sure for any fans of that movie, you'll be like, well, that's the point of his character. I mean, if he is, I can respect that. But people have been pissed off with Daredevil, like in She-Hulk, like, oh, he's not supposed to be funny. Like, in the comics, he is comedic, okay? So he can be both angst and comedic at the same time, which, again, I want to talk about Daredevil in his involvement with She-Hulk. So yeah, Foggy is funny. I don't know what's the deal with these Netflix shows. Like, when it comes to origin stories or backstories, they don't go straight into them. Sometimes, okay, with the DCEU, right? I like straight to the point movies. Like, sure, if you still want to have a backstory, like, say with Wonder Woman, all right? That movie takes place after BVS. It takes place present day, 2017, right? So she talks about her backstory, right? And then it goes back to present day. Like, that can work. I don't know. I felt like, and even when not the mid-season finale, kind of like almost to the second to last episode, they have an episode committed to a backstory that takes up the full episode, which, again, we'll talk about here in a little bit. Let's see. But it was nice to show flashbacks of Matt Murdock's journey as a kid, like how he became Blade. Honestly, guys, because of this show, now I do want to say this. I have never, ever, ever disrespected blind people. Okay, I think they're cool people, and because of the show, I want a blind friend so bad. And I feel bad for them too because of all the jokes and the harassment that they have to go through. Like literally the other day at my work, I actually had a blind customer for the first time. She had her cane that blind people need to have. Like obviously you know how that works, but she wasn't wearing sunglasses. Again, I don't know if that's really necessarily a requirement. Um, but I just felt so bad for this customer, like what she had to go through, with Daredevil. I mean, well, yeah, Daredevil, but like Matt Murdock's red sunglasses, they're so cool. I want them so badly now. I want them so bad. Um, so yeah, I've always respected blind people a lot because again, what they have to go through every single day. And Braille, oh my gosh, that would always annoy me whenever I would go to places with friends or whatever, especially in high school, friends and family. I would always see like these dots. I'm like, what is this? Until what was it, 2017? I found out like, oh, it's Braille. It just feels like the texture of it. It feels oddly good, if that makes sense. Like if you just rub on it, like it feels like kind of like a finger massage. I don't know. I don't want to get too weird into that. Oh my gosh. I hope I didn't weird you guys out. Um, but yeah. What else? The Kingpin. Okay, Vincent D'Onofrio. He is awesome as the Kingpin. He's a big comic book fan. He read the comics, and I don't remember if I heard any interviews about this. I don't know if he said he was desperate for the role, but he's perfect for the role. Like the all-time Netflix baddie. Okay, he was pretty much the baddie in every season. Like in every season you expect a new baddie, but just like no, every time he came on screen, like he kept like getting my like attention. Like yes, I want more of the Kingpin. So Wilson Fisk, right? I believe they introduced him in, was it the third or the fourth episode? Either way, I'm sure most of you guys feel this way too when it comes to especially TV shows. I felt like it was kind of early to introduce him. I think it would have been perfect to show him, like introduce him like in the middle of the season, and then we'll get him for the other half. I don't know. That's just me. Maybe I'll start to grow into it, And the cool thing about his flashbacks is that his kid self is played by the one and only Cole Jensen, aka Wyatt Bernstein from Crash and Bernstein. Which, by the way, I'll make sure to get on the October 2012 stream about that, talking about Crash and Bernstein, guys. So keep that in mind. I don't know if I want to do a stream like on Halloween, or I just want to get it out as soon as possible. Anyways, man, I don't know if that was the last role that Cole has like been a role like that. Like I follow him on Instagram. He doesn't post much. But I hope the kid is doing okay because he just looks like a genuine cool guy. And Vanessa, oh my gosh, the Kingpin's love interest, Vanessa, she was awesome and somewhat terrifying, really. Of course, the Kingpin is like really terrifying, but in a cool way. I love the chemistry between Wilson Fisk and Vanessa, but I believe it was the finale, right, that he had to send her away for a while because the Devil of Hell's Kitchen, which by the way, Disney on She-Hulk used the name Hell's Kitchen, so they better keep that for the new Daredevil Disney Plus series coming up, because Disney, you can't always be family friendly all the time. You got to push the stakes, all right? You got to push the boundaries, okay? I know you have in the past, especially with every Marvel movie, but you really got to keep those stakes going. Otherwise, you're going to lose your customers per se. So don't do not make Matt Murdock / Daredevil comedic the entire season. Like 18 episodes, okay? And I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool if the new series coming up would have the same time length of like the original show. Like some of them will go like to over 50 minutes. Some I was hoping for like 40 or whatever, but just like that'll be kind of cool. You know, Disney Plus has been really mixed on their timings, if you will, for their shows. They're not always consistent all the time, like the same like your normal TV shows, like especially what you watch on regular TV. Anyways, what else? Was I still going off about Kingpin and Vanessa? So the Russian brothers, you know, they're pretty annoying, you know, like they always talk about like, hey brother, like we need to go on this faraway land or whatever, like to be free and all that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they were pretty annoying. The Hand was introduced, which by the way, if you want to get caught up with the Defenders series, I would definitely recommend watching Daredevil and Iron Fist first and get to the Defenders, because that's when the Hand stuff really comes into play. Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, the series, they don't have crap for leading up to the Defenders and the Hand. Madame Gao got pretty annoying. Wilson Fisk's not secretary, maybe like his right hand man, he was just so freaking annoying. So annoying. At least Karen killed him off in one of the later episodes. Just because, yeah, it's just like, can we get this over with already? Did not like his character at all. And of course, the glue of these shows that led to the Defenders. Claire Temple. Yep, Rosario Dawson herself. Ahsoka Tano herself. Oh my gosh, I loved her right away just because like she is so cool. Like literally, she appeared in every show except for the Punisher. She was fixing up Matt whenever he was damaged. And just like she's pretty much the Phil Coulson of the Netflix series, right? Because even Tom Hiddleston in an interview said like Clark Gregg, who plays Phil Coulson, is the glue to the Marvel universe. What else? So anyways, let's get back to Karen Page. Like I said, love her so much. Deborah Ann. I know that's not like her full name because I know she's got like another name. Let's see. Yeah, we're just gonna. I'm sorry, guys. I'm like training myself to memorize these other actors' names. Let's see. My freaking jaw. Yeah, Deborah Ann Wool. Yep, she is just awesome as Karen Page. And the recent speculations, like people are wondering, like, hey, when is she gonna come back? Like, hopefully she'll come back for Born Again, because I think one of the key goals for this show, you have to bring everybody back from the original show to keep the continuity. I was laughing my butt off when people were pissed off to hear like whatever the frick her name is for Elektra, Elodie Young, British actress, that she might get replaced with a Hispanic actress. Like, I will get onto Elektra talking about season 2 coming up because, do I have a bunch of words to say about this version. Yeah, I think like Disney, you need to pull the smart move and just bring Deborah back because she's one of Matt Murdock's love interests in the Frank Miller comics Born Again. From what I've learned is that she gives out Matt's secret identity to the world for drugs, apparently. So, and she has been into the drug trades before, as they show later on in the series. So like it would make sense if they would show her going back to that. Sure, it would be like painful to watch, but I'm sure the comic book lovers would be like, yeah, just like the comics, just like the comics. Like, okay, okay, guys. She's just great. That's all I can say, guys. Well, okay, there's this one other character that I actually cried for, and I don't know why they killed her off. Mrs. Cardenas. She was she was living in an apartment, right? But like Wilson Fisk bought off the apartment, and his right hand man I was telling you about, like, was trying to convince her and her neighbors to like get out so they could take up the space, but like she refuses to. But unfortunately, she gets killed off by Fisk. And I remember crying. I'm like, no, not Mrs. Cardenas. And especially as a Hispanic myself, like that hurt. That really hurt. The Handman, they're so ridiculous. I don't like how they revive characters in this show, really. Let's see. The finale. Fisk, he's trying to fix Hell's Kitchen, right? By destroying everything, and then like that's when Matt gets the full costume, like the real costume, and then Fisk changes his mind when he's fighting Matt. He's like, I want these people to suffer, Well, let's talk about Ben Urich quick. I forgot that Ben Urich existed in the Daredevil movie. So I'm like, oh, like later on when I found like, oh, that's him. That's the guy. And honestly, I like that version of Ben Urich in the show than what they portrayed him in the movie. Just because, like, again, they had more character development on him. And his wife was suffering with dementia, and he's trying to get her on this plan, like this medical plan. And I just loved seeing him, like, going to see his wife hopefully every day and just like loving her, taking care of her as much as he could. But unfortunately, though, Wilson Fisk broke into his home and killed him off because Ben Urich was trying to expose him. How did Fisk know what Matt and company were going to expose him to? And then on the news, he's like, oh my gosh, like having his little pity party, whatever. Is like, I'm Wilson Fisk, I'm the kingpin, or like, I know what I've done was wrong and all that. Like it hits the newsreels. I'm like, what the frick? And what's that newspaper then? What's it called? It's not the Post, definitely not. They mention it a lot in the other shows, but like, anyways, it was cool in the background. They showed newsreels. Well, not like newsreels, but like, whenever there's like a big story and you can put it on your wall. They had one from the Incredible Hulk first, right? Like the Harlem battle between Hulk versus Abomination. Like, wow, how did Universal let Disney and ABC to use that as much as they can? And Avengers Tower. Again, this is when you really knew that these shows were canon back in the day. Again, if none of the other shows weren't canon at all, which I'll be fine with, then let Daredevil be the only one canon, seriously, because, again, some people are speculating, like, oh, Daredevil and Defenders are canon. Like, I'm not making fun of that idea. It's just we need the actual, like, confirmation. Kevin, he likes to make things so confusing and complicated. Like, I know these shows were not made by Marvel Studios, right? But Disney, though, and they weren't made or produced with Kevin Feige. So he gets to say what about the shows. Like, and thank God for the parental settings. Like, I have my own passcode. Like, that's how you can watch these shows. And even if he did announce whichever shows are canon, and if you still have the parental settings, I'm pretty sure in the parental settings, the timeline will show the series on which place in the timeline it would take place. Obviously, gosh, I'm going off with my words here, guys. I'm sorry. And with Matt and Foggy's friendship, chemistry, like it's so fun to watch. Like like best friends for life, like since college. Like they're basically brothers, you know. They show like a flashback episode where like sure Foggy finds out that Matt is Daredevil, he's devastated, but then they show like especially them in college, like oh my gosh. Attorney in Spanish, I believe, is arigatos, right? Let me know in the comments if I got that right. And then Foggy, he's just trying to say like, you know, like attorneys at law in Spanish. He's like El Grande Avocados. Like, do not tell me. Like, that's the funniest scene in there. Oh my gosh. And then at the finale, they get their sign, right? And then Matt, he's like, Nelson and Murdoch, avocados a lot. It's pretty much an inside joke with them. And Karen's like, what the frick are you guys talking about? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There's one iconic scene that everybody loves alongside with this one, season 3. And you guys know what I'm talking about. It's the one scene in episode 2 at the very end when Matt is going to save the kid from the you-know-what. That subject I talked about a little bit ago about the first episode. Again, you guys know. It's these one camera shots, right? Like, sometimes I wonder, like, how do they do this? But then again, it's not just a one-time thing because I understand they do multiple takes or like they get different angles. And of course you have to like cut the pieces together and then like put them together to make it look like just one camera scene because it does not change at all. The camera just keeps moving. And I like that. I remember this similar scenario, if you will, in the Clone Wars. And I'm like, that's cool. Like they should do more of these, you know? And like the hallway scenes, like especially like the one in She-Hulk, like, oh man, the hallway scenes are great with Daredevil in it. Like, oh my gosh, he's just beating the crap out of these thugs. And of course, he saves the little boy who was kidnapped. What else? Scott Glenn's character, Stick. Did not like him at all, really. Like, sure, he's supposed to be like this jackass mentor to Matt. And he's teaching him like, oh, you can't have attachments or you can't have feelings for anybody or you can't have friends because you need to focus on the task at hand. That's when he starts talking about the hand, like the Great War or whatever it's called. And that wants nothing to do with the hand or the war, you know? Same thing, same difference, right? Of course, in the first episode, when Karen was accused for a murder that she did not commit, you know, like the first scene when she meets Matt and Nelson, you know, first time they're doing serious lawyering, right? And just the funniest scene, like she's asking them, like, how long have you been studying law? And that's over to Foggy, like, what time is it? Foggy looks at his watch, right? about 7 hours. Oh my gosh, that is funny. And of course, later on, when Matt offers Karen protection, he brings her to his apartment, and she asks him this personal question, and of course, he's getting ahead of it, like, were you born blind? I think I remember he told her like he wasn't, you know, born with that, of course. But then the second question, she's like, how do you comb your hair? Like he even, again, he was ahead of his game. He's like, or how do you comb your hair? And then he's just like, you hope for the best. And since then, that stuck with me for 3 months. But if there's another thing that these shows have taught me is that, and they're going to just expect to like hear me say this like in person, right? Is to get your head out of your asses, okay? Seriously. Yeah. Love that line. And they've said it in almost every show though, but it's like you can tell, like, even if some characters did want to say it. So yeah, season 2 of the series, that's when Matt is finally fully like accepting like he is Daredevil. He is the devil of Hell's Kitchen. No wait. Now I think about it. His pastor, right? Let's see. Father Lantum. Okay, guys. It starts with an L. I thought his first name started with an F. I'm sorry, guys. Oh my gosh. I am a little bit rusty, but it's okay. Like I said, Daredevil will be the one that I'll mostly watch all the time. So don't be well, I don't know if I should say this. Like, don't be surprised if I know every line because I try to nail down a lot of lines as I can. Let's see. Matt and Karen start dating, and I love that. I love that. Like those two are like such like. Even if you're a guy, it's okay to say this too. All right. Even someone in high school told me to give me the go ahead. Like it's okay to say this. Like they make a cute couple. All right. Matt and Karen. Like oh my gosh. Every time they're in a scene together, like, and a lot of the girls that I know who do TikTok compilations of Matt Murdock, they're crushing on his smile. Like he has a good smile, like Charlie Cox. Like I even try to smile more like him, like whether if it's intentionally or unintentionally. And I hope people would get that once I start dressing up like Daredevil. Like oh my gosh, and hopefully I'll say this line too. Like just hope for the best. But then that's when Matt's life turns upside down. Freaking Elektra comes back, but I remember the first time they introduced her, and even if when I wasn't watching the shows, I'm like, this is Elektra? What the heck? They made her British. No. Again, nothing wrong with the Brits. It's just I do have my standards, though. There are limits. Like I said, this woman right here, Jennifer Garner. Seriously, the actress who plays her. What is she? Like who is she? What is she? Elodie Young. Like she is no Jennifer Garner. I remember earlier when I said people were starting to get pissed off, like they might replace her with a Hispanic actress I'm not familiar with. Like again, I was laughing my butt off. I'm like, so what? Who freaking cares? Sure, you could bring back the original cast, but not her, okay? Because I thought she was super freaking annoying, okay? And then when they were showing flashbacks of like her and Matt together, like even when they were in the ring, there's this one scene that I'm not going to explain, but like it made me happy, but in a sad way, like kind of like nostalgic in a sad way because of like their chemistry. I almost cried honestly because I'm like, oh my gosh. Like whenever I'm not in a relationship, guys, and when scenes like that pop up, I hope this doesn't become a thing now whenever I watch couples in movies or TV shows. Like hopefully they don't make me like I don't know, like feel bad every time in a way. And again, nostalgic, if you will, because I'm like, man, I missed that. I wish, what could I have done better? What could I have done to be a better boyfriend, to this amazing person in the world that I loved and cared so much about, and I would do anything for her. I would give my life for her. Seriously, I love being in relationships just so that I could be committed to like another person, give my all to that person, Anyways, yeah. We're moving past that now, guys. Finally, the freaking Punisher gets revealed in the first episode. He wipes out this Irish mob, and I thought, oh my gosh, please don't make them like the main baddies of this season. Oh my gosh, like John Berthnall's and Charlie Cox's chemistry as like both Daredevil and the Punisher, like, oh my gosh, that was so funny. That is so funny. Even when they have their serious and darkest moments, it's so funny. Every time Frank Castle is like, "Hey, Red." I swear, the freaking Punisher, the way he portrays him, every time he's like, "Oh," or screaming like, "Oh," I can't do it that loud because, neighbors, but like you get what I'm saying. Can we all agree that he sounds like kind of like a big wild dog when he sounds like that? Like, what kind of a dog, like, not screams, but like kind of barks like that? Like, let me know in the comments what breed of dog, like, screams like that. Oh my gosh. Some people were saying like, "Oh, his character was better in season 2 of Daredevil than the actual series." Like, what's wrong with the series? But 90%, I'm pretty sure it's 90% of fans love that series. It's a good series. My gosh. Again, I just love, especially like the funny interactions. And again, there's another hallway scene where, Daredevil is fighting these thugs from a rooftop, and he has a gun strapped on his right hand, which Frank Castle like taped on. He's like forcing him, like, this is a movie trope, right? Whenever somebody's held captive or not, and they try to convince the other person who doesn't think they're bad at all, or they don't care if they're the good guy, but like I still believe that people can change in real life too. And Frank, he's just like, he's all like, "That's BS" and all that, and I think he does knock out Matt, and then when he wakes up, he's again the gun is tapped, like it's strapped onto his hand. I'm sorry, and he's trying to force Matt to make a choice with this one person who's basically a criminal that Frank was trying to kill off. And Matt, he's trying to convince him. He's like, "We'll put him in a cell, but do not end him." And eventually he does get offed. So, oh, by the way, there's one, I guess, honorable mention I forgot to say for season 1. When one of the Russian brothers messed up, when he embarrassed Wilson Fisk in front of Vanessa, goes to his car, but then Fisk was like, "You embarrassed me in front of Vanessa." So he opens his car door, and then he starts smashing one of the Russian brothers' head, and then decapitates his head from the car, and you can see the blood spewing like, oh wow, I did not think Fisk is capable of that kind of violence. But then again, watching Spider-Verse, it was pretty cool. My gosh. And eventually Frank Castle does go to jail, gets convicted, and then that's when he meets the Kingpin. Yeah, the Kingpin is in jail. I forgot to mention that the Kingpin went to jail in the season finale of season 1. But, like, the Kingpin is really good at manipulating other people, like that. Oh my gosh, like, it's even scary, so that Wilson could take down this one person who's like the head of the jail, so that he can be like, so he gets still have an empire. But Fisk has his own special kind of cell. And I like it how him and Castle just like, hassle it out. Like every time Frank is like, "Oh, oh my gosh, we need that back." Like, especially in the MCU. Let me tell you, the Punisher is really not a family-friendly Marvel character. Even John Berthnall, he's like, "Listen, guys, if I ever want to come back, especially in the MCU, we need to keep him the same." I think that's good. Even if you try to dial down the Punisher, like try to make him family-friendly, like, of course, the Disney Plus shows are TV-14, but it's just Marvel Zombies is going to be our first mature audience show for Disney. And I'm sure they're going to pull it off. And if it does well, again, I'm pretty sure it is, Disney's going to have an opportunity here to make more mature audience shows. That includes The Punisher. But we don't know where Born Again is going to be rated. Again, it could be TV-14. We're not sure. But all for now, we all know that Marvel Zombies is the first MA show for Disney. So, again, I like how Disney's pushing the boundaries, I think they might start making rated R movies, you know. But again, who knows? They're Disney. They can do whatever the heck they want. Of course, Stick comes back. Apparently, we know that he's been training Elektra ever since she was a little girl. I forgot to mention about Stick is that he's a blind person too, but he's like ridiculously good with like martial arts and all that crap. Like, oh my gosh, remind me to never train under his wing, okay? Because he's just a jerk. That's a father figure I never want in my life. And apparently, Elektra is this. I don't know if it's safe to say that she's a god, you know. She doesn't have that god complex, but like the hand is so obsessed with like apparently she's supposed to be their master. Like she's what the again, correct me if I'm wrong on this, the Black Hawk. And that was introduced in season 1. Apparently the Black Hawk was a kid, but I think they off the kid off. Oh wow, off the kid off. Jeez. And then she's all of a sudden convinced, right? She is convinced that she is the Black Hawk, or again, whatever the name is. But like, I didn't like it how Matt was. I know Charlie Cox said like he loved the complication between like, you know, Matt's love life between Karen Page and Elektra Nachios, right? I didn't like it how Matt was, you know, ignoring Karen because they were dating. They're basically boyfriend and girlfriend. And then when Matt was putting more attention on Elektra, like when she was badly injured, for example, and Karen walks in, Matt tries to explain, but then like they're all lovey-dovey now, like Matt and Elektra, like we could go anywhere, you know, that trope. It's only better if Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy do that, like in TASM 2. I'm just gonna follow you everywhere. Of course, I saw this coming. It was no surprise to me. Like the hand, you know, they try to retrieve her, and then the Punisher comes in to save, you know, but also help Matt to destroy the hand. See you around, Red. Of course, they kill her off, just like in the comics and like in the Daredevil movie too. And there was this Asian guy who was introduced in season 1. He got killed off. But remember how I said, like, I don't like it when the hand is reviving people back with this, like, with this device, if you will. It's a little capsule. And apparently in the Defenders, they explain, like, they need, like, this juice or whatever so that they can, like, live forever and all that. Like, oh, my gosh. I don't like that kind of stuff, guys, honestly. Sure, there's some things that are, if they're comic accurate, like they're from the comics, there's some aspects I can respect to that. But like when you take it too far, yeah, that's when you need to dial it down. Okay, you need to dial it down, guys. Frick. Let's see. What else? Okay. I liked it how like finally like Foggy was on Matt the whole time in season 2. Like, were you gonna tell Karen that you're Daredevil? So at the very end of the last episode of season 2, Matt asks Karen to go into the office, and so he'll tell her. He opens the bag, has the Daredevil mask, and he's like, "I'm Daredevil," and she's like. It would have been nice to see like a follow-up to that. Like I think everybody wanted that, you know, just like it would have been nice to see a follow-up. Like she would have been like, "What the heck, Matt? Why did you tell me? I could have been your what is it called? Like your life support or whatever. Like just like Foggy. Like of course I wanted Matt to tell her too, like, Matt, you gotta freaking tell her, man, because if you don't, it's gonna be 10 times worse for you. Again, frick. We're not gonna jump right into the Defenders yet because again, I want to talk. I'm gonna put timestamps in the comments because I haven't done that in a while. Because I'm gonna put timestamps in the comments like which shows I'm going to be talking about, and the rant will be in the, you know, when I talk about Iron Fist, right? So in season 3, we're going to jump into season 3 because season 3 comes after the Defenders. All right, so we're in post Defenders timeline now. So it shows Matt being washed away from the building that the Defenders crushed. Again, we'll get more into that. Somebody finds him, and then he ends up in his childhood Catholic church that he grew up knowing, and I guess loving, I guess. Apparently this nun Maggie, which surprise, surprise, and a few episodes later, she turns out to be Matt's mother. Again, we'll get a little bit of that, but she acts like she's acting like she's playing the smart ass card. Like she's getting all smart with Matt, you know, as he's recovering. In Matt's situation, I felt what he felt, alone and depressed, because he lost everything, I guess. And apparently Karen, for some time now, what was it like? Did they say 3 months now or 6 months that she's been paying off his rent? And the next time she'll pay it off will be the last time. And of course, she's going to be pissed off at Matt when they meet again. I gotta say though, guys, I know this villain is a fan favorite, but unfortunately, I did not like the version of the character. And stay with me, guys. Wilson Bethel, who plays the famous Bullseye, yeah, wasn't really working for me, especially with this character. Like he kept, I don't know if he's like borderline schizophrenic, because in episodes where they would show like his past, his childhood, like how like he has freaking ridiculously good aim, right? And that's the point of Bullseye. Like he never misses, right? Or never misses, you know, that's the rare occasion. He's gone through some stuff, gone through some problems, and he apparently like he killed off his baseball coach because he wanted to play, but then he like, you know, again offs him. So he goes to a therapist, and she is agreeing with but his first name is Ben, right? Like with Ben's decisions, like Benjamin Poindexter. Yes, I can never get Poindexter down. Like, what is his last name? What the frick is his last name? That's why I prefer Bullseye in the movie, because he literally has a freaking bullseye marked on his forehead, and he's Irish. I love that. And I'm like, when they introduced him in the show, like, he's not freaking Irish. Make him Irish. I am Irish myself, so that's highly offensive to me. So don't pull that card on me, Marvel. Come on. And Poindexter was stalking this one chick who apparently worked with him before at again, I don't know if it's safe to say this in the video, but what I'm going to be talking about with the specific scene, like I take this stuff very seriously. I don't make jokes out of it, so just please bear with me. If you guys are going through depression, talk to someone, okay? Or again, there's specific landlines you can talk to. Like they give out specific numbers of like again, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this word on the internet, but like I could maybe try quietly say it so YouTube doesn't pick it up. I don't know. We'll see. The suicide prevention hotline, if you will. There's numbers, okay? So if you guys are depressed, talk to someone, okay? Or go to a therapist. Try talking to your parents at least, because some parents that I've met in real life, whenever their kids are going through crap, like sometimes like they ignore him. They ignore them. Like, what's the point of being a parent if you're not going to help your kids out? Like these parents are here like, oh, they'll walk it off. They'll be fine. Like it doesn't work in a snap of a finger, okay? I would know, guys, because I've been going through depression for 5 years now, and believe me, guys, it doesn't go away. It doesn't give a frick about what you're doing. But I am doing my best to fight it off every single day. That's why I say stay positive, guys. Okay, no matter what happens, just try. Just try. Try to stay positive. Okay. I want to spread the message out too, but unfortunately, though, YouTube has been banning specific videos where, like, how are we supposed to talk about prevention to especially young kids who are going through that? Like, how can we do that, YouTube? Do we need to mark specific episodes where we talk about like health and all that stuff? Like, YouTube, you really disappoint me, honestly. Like, come on. Why? Why do you take down videos like that? Like, we're trying to help people in general who are going through depression. And of course, I talk to friends a lot about my depression. And I try not to use it as like to get attention, because I know people who have depression, but they want to get the attention. Like they say all the time, like, oh, like I've been depressed for this long, or like, you know what I mean? And of course, I talk to my friends if they're going through depression, and like I've said in my videos, I just try to give decent advice. It's not going to be 100% perfect, but at least I try. Again, talk to someone, okay? I would advise to you guys that you talk to someone. I'm starting therapy again this Thursday. I think it's going to be an every other week type thing. I don't know. We'll see. But like, it's been 3 years now since I've been to therapy. I'm not against it. It's just, I was supposed to schedule an appointment 3 years ago, like the week after or so. I don't remember, but it's just like, therapy does help. It makes you feel better, makes you feel calm. But it is hard to talk about some dodgy stuff, especially with the therapist. But I know they're going to say, listen, it's just you and me. Whatever happens stays between us. It stays in this room, So I'm pretty sure with this new therapist I'm going to see, which I've been to this therapist a couple of times with my mom because he's her therapist. He's a really cool, funny guy. And I'm sure he's going to tell me the exact same thing. Like, whatever happens, it stays in this room. It stays between you and me. So I am going to try my hardest again to just be honest, especially with myself, because as hard as to admit this, I really need it right now. I guess desperately. So, all right. I just want to get that off my chest, guys. Wow, that got really deep there. But it's good to talk about these things too. Anyways, the specific scene with Benjamin Poindexter, right? He used to work at this S prevention line, and he tries to convince a kid to use a certain weapon on his father, but then his crush goes up to him and like he plays it off perfectly. Just like any villain would, honestly. And Poindexter's really scary in this one, but not like in a cool way though. He's like, oh my gosh. Again, I don't know if he's borderline schizophrenic, but I don't remember if they specifically talked about that. Anyways, Fisk offers him like a deal, like, so basically he wants Poindexter to basically be an imposter of Daredevil. So he wears the Daredevil costume, right? But Matt doesn't know about this yet until there's a guy who I guess worked with Fisk, and he was about to tell a story, but then Poindexter again offed him, and that's when Matt went back to the black suit, kind of. He was wearing some black clothing, but at least he had like his black mask. With Poindexter, apparently he had cassettes, tapes of his therapist talking to him about his stuff. Like his therapist, like, again, they show him like the flashbacks, like, hey, if you're having a bad day, just listen to these tapes. I guess unfortunately though, he burns them because they're evidence, but like, Matt later on he has one for proof to show like how really psychotic Poindexter is. In the church, the Catholic Church, Father Lantom is like trying to, preach to the church, like, hey, we're in the darkest times right now, but I need you to like be calm and all that. And I would definitely want to be friends with Father Lantom for sure. Apparently, I think Fisk made this threat to Matt, like, hey, if you don't reveal your identity every day, more people are going to die. That same villain trope, So Poindexter went to the church, and, like, Daredevil being the real Daredevil, like, fights the fake Daredevil. But unfortunately, though, Poindexter is supposed to get Matt, but got Father Lantom. Matt was training his mind and his body again underneath the church. Like, they have like a basement, and that's when Maggie's like checking up on him. I don't like it how he's doubting his faith for God. Like, he used to think of himself as a soldier for God, but he's like blaming him for, being abandoned because Matt has been abandoned all his life. That's when he fully reclaims himself as Daredevil. Like, he's accepting it, he's liking it. And I don't like it how he called out Job in the Bible, a wussy, if you will. And he had a lot of Braille Bibles. Like, wow, those are big. It's impressive, though. At least Maggie tries to, try to reassure him, like, everything's going to be okay. You just have to build your faith up again. That's good. That's good. This is where the loneliness and depression really comes in. This is when Matt, talks to Foggy, but he doesn't really want to see him because this is the whole BS thing that Stick told him. Like, you can't have attachments, like feelings, and like for your friends and all that. So like he pushes them away. So like kind of uses Foggy, like he takes his ID and then he goes to this precinct all by himself, and then he claims himself as Foggy Nelson, which stolen identity, that's not good. But with Matt, this is the exception because he's cool. So again, I don't want to explain every detail, but like there's another hallway fight scene, but this one is like really depressing because I don't know about you guys, but like something about being by yourself, like, yes, alone, not having any help at all, and you're on your own, like and fighting off these guys who are almost ridiculously stronger than you are. Oh my gosh. That really got me. And like when his taxi driver was driving him home, but really the taxi driver jumped out of the car and then left Matt in there to die. For like the car goes straight for the river so that he can die, but turns out it failed. So Fisk, right? He's under house arrest. He has like security, but he has a lot of respect for Poindexter. Well, either he was being serious about that, or like I said earlier, like he was using him, manipulating him. And of course, Vanessa comes back. Like he wants to make sure that Vanessa is okay. And she's starting to have doubts about Fisk, which really bothers me when it comes to relationships, guys. Like, ladies, you need to answer us this. Why do you feel not necessarily depressed, but like you're starting to doubt us guys? Like, why? Like, we do everything we can to give you everything in a life that you want, but like Vanessa, she was really doubting Fisk, and I was rooting for Fisk. Like, come on, man, this is your chance to like prove yourself to her, like you love her and all that. And then she's like, I need some space. Like, Sure, I respect that, but there is no excuse for not talking to us, okay? Like, you need to tell us what the frick is going on. And I've had that done to me in the past with any girlfriend, really. So just, ladies, please just answer us this in the comments. Why do you do that? Go watch that episode in season 3. I don't know which one it is, but like, please just watch it, okay? I'm sure you can relate with Vanessa and all that. It's just, come on. We need answers to that. We want to be able to understand you more. So just don't make this complicated. Don't make this hard. Don't make this harder than it has to be, okay? Because when I'm in a relationship, I want to make sure I'm there for the person, okay? I don't want to be shunned or pushed away or having the cold shoulder or being ignored, okay? Because I can do that too, you know. I can do that too. And I have the right to be pissed off as well. So don't you dare tell me that I can't be pissed off. And you cannot dictate my emotions, okay? Freaking hate that crap. I freaking hate that crap so much. It really pisses me off. Anyways, so of course, again, I'm rooting for Wilson here. And he's watching the security cameras here because, you know, in his house arrest, he's got, again, security. You know, as Poindexter is being a jerk to Fisk, Fisk has 100% respect for him. And this is when Fisk and Vanessa get married, and they get married in the last episode. There's so much I want to say here, guys, but like, you know what? We're going to get to the very important scene that I told you I was going to get to earlier. I think that this might be the best but most important scene out of all the episodes in the series, and this is in the finale, right? You know, Daredevil and Poindexter and Fisk, they have a fight, and you know, Fisk paralyzes Poindexter's back, and then, you know, like after Fisk and Vanessa get married, like they try to hide from Matt, and like Matt is just again beating the crap out of Fisk. And he desperately wants to kill him, right? But he knows that he can't. So this one most powerful scene, but cool scene though. Oh, man, I felt that, guys. He had his hands on Fisk's head, but he knows he can't, so he screams. Some people were saying like the real villain is Matt. Like, I don't know if I see that at all, because I don't know. I try, like, obviously there's going to be metaphors and stuff that we like, right? But it's just, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Man, Matt, he's just all out. He's like, God knows that I want you, but I won't let you destroy who I am. And Fisk, he's like, kill me, or like, if you don't, I will hunt down Karen Page and Bobby Nelson. You're going to go back to your cell, and you're going to be there for the rest of your life, knowing that you'll never have Vanessa. I loved it when Matt said that. And then when he reveals his identity to him, and I feel like he was looking straight at him, even though, like, I understand that Charlie Cox had to go through, like, he had a blind coach, and just teaching him, like, which ways to look and all that. But, like, again, just pulls it off like a champ. I love that so much. Love it, guys. I love it. I'm here for it. Like, they make a deal, like, pretty much Wilson and Vanessa, they go to jail. And Matt is getting all this high praise. And Poindexter, he goes into surgery. And they were kind of hinting like they would have made a season 4. I'm not sure if I want to get into all the Netflix, Marvel Television controversy that happened, especially like talking about the Blu-ray releases, like the limitations of the Blu-ray releases, how much they could, you know, release. But yeah, Matt Murdock is just such a cool character. It's just so cool. Let's see what else. So let's talk a little bit about that one scene in No Way Home. And I've seen the extended cut. It's been a month now, guys, and if you haven't seen the extended cut yet, watch this at your own risk, I guess. If you don't care for spoilers, but the extended cut is available now on digital, so I need to get that this weekend. So the one scene with Matt Murdock when he's Peter Parker's attorney. Of course, I knew who he was before I became a fan. Like the first time I saw him in the theater, like I was like, yeah, I know who he is. He's Daredevil. Like I remember the theater was just like clapping and like wooing him, like woo. And of course, when he caught that brick. Oh my gosh, that's going to be iconic. Well, I'm pretty sure it is, though. And of course, you get the chemistry between Peter and Matt. Like, how did you just do that? And then Matt is just like, I'm a really good lawyer. Like, yes, you are, man. Yes, you are. And in the extended cut, they give him another scene where he becomes Happy Hogan's attorney. And, you know, he's defending him and all that. Happy is looking through his security footage, and then Matt goes over to Happy, and he's like, Happy, stop sweating. And then Happy's just like, how do you do that? Again, I can't wait. All right. Let's talk about the two last episodes of She-Hulk. Let me tell you guys, the second to last episode was worth it, okay? It was worth it. But I believe, which episode was it? Was it episode 4 that they showed the mask, the yellow mask of Daredevil? It's like when I first saw him like in the TV spots or whatever, like I wasn't a fan, but every time they showed him on screen with that, like, because again, Marvel's been killing it with their comic accurate costumes, and like every time he's on screen, like it gets better and better. And plus the costume is the same style. It's just, again, there's a splash of yellow on there, again, just like in the comics. Matt did foreshadow that he's going to get more suits from his tailor, if you will. Let me tell you, his tailor, I do not like him at all. I hate his tailor so much. He's a freak. So, yeah. So again, stupid people love to find an excuse. They love to be negative. Like when it comes to shows like this, they're like, oh, they ruined the character or something like that. Like every time, especially when it comes to Star Wars, like, come on. For any Marvel fans out there, like in general, like we all saw this coming, right? It's been confirmed by both Charlie and Kevin and other people at Marvel who said this, like, Matt Murdock is also comedic. So why the frick are you complaining about this? Like, this is a new change for the character. I think it's good. Like, when I saw that clip before the episode came out, like, him fighting She-Hulk, like, yes, that is perfect. Straight up 10 out of 10. And I still can't believe he was his Taylor's attorney, you know, when, like, you know, Matt Murdock versus Jennifer Walters. But I'm like, you know what, Matt, you rock no matter what. Just you, only you. Let's see, Daredevil and She-Hulk, they go fight these. Well, they have a little argument about like goons or henchmen or whatever. So whatever you want to call them, Leapfrog. That is a stupid, horrible name for a Marvel villain, if you will. Oh, because he's a rich kid and he can do whatever the heck he wants by becoming a vigilante himself. Like, stop it. You're not meant to be a vigilante, okay? You're a spoiled brat. That's who you are. Again, there was a hallway scene, but it was in blue, and that was pretty cool. And as soon as like Matt was about to fight off these other guys, She-Hulk comes in. And again, CompoCast pointed this out when it came to the hallway fight scene. Again, a lot of people were pissed off, like, why doesn't he have another hallway scene? Like, we got the first one in that episode. So I believe this when it comes to other projects, right? When you have a special guest star, right? Sure, they could show off their other traits, but like, it's not their show. They could do that in their other show. Like, again, they show previews of like what's coming in their own stuff, right? Just like Charlie Cox wants She-Hulk to be in Born Again, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna have limitations, like especially of scenes, just like Daredevil did in episode 7. Was it? How many episodes were there? 8 or 9? I don't know. Again, correct me guys if I'm wrong. So yeah, and I kind of saw this coming too at the end, like Daredevil and She-Hulk making out. Oh my gosh! And then when he walks out during the day without his boots on, he's just walking casually. He's like, "Hi," and then that's what really turned people off. They're like, "They ruined Daredevil. They ruined him. They made him too funny." Like, guys, this is a whole other side of Matt that we need. Sure, we are still expecting dark and brooding Matt Murdock / Daredevil, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay. He's not a comic relief character, right? We'll see what happens in 2024 when Daredevil Born Again comes out on Disney Plus, okay? So I would love for the original series to be canon to the MCU if they can. Get caught up, because Charlie Cox did say Daredevil Born Again, it's not season 4 of the original series. It's a whole fresh start. It's season 1, okay? The Defenders are coming back, guys. Don't worry. Don't worry, we're getting there. So yeah, I can't wait. The last episode of She-Hulk season finale, she magically pops him in there, and then he's staying for a week. I don't remember exactly why. What was the specific reasoning why he flew out to California and then he's going to go back to New York? And again, I loved how they referenced Hell's Kitchen for sure. Again, good on you, Disney. Keep that up. Keep that up. So like I said, I am excited for more of Charlie Cox's appearances in the MCU for sure. Like, Disney, you better treat him well, because we don't want to be worried, okay? There's starting to be some doubters like, oh, Disney's going to ruin him. They're going to make him family friendly. I feel like he could be on some certain degree, okay? Not 100%, okay? Like Comic Book Cast said, if you watch Comic Book Cast and like his podcast, it can't work for a full season. Nope. So he can be comedic here and there, but just don't overdo it, okay? Like, look at Love and Thunder, for example. They overdone it with the comedy, okay? And that's bad. And thank God Taika Waititi stepped down because he doesn't want to direct Thor 5. So, like, are you going to be Korg in Thor 5? Or, like, are you going to kill off the character? Who knows? Anyways, so I guess we're done here talking about Daredevil. Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting this stream to be so long, guys. I want to try to cover everything as much as I can. All right. Let's see. My phone loves to mess this up on me all the time. Okay. Amazon Music, you need to get your crap together, I swear. I think you guys know where I'm heading with the second Netflix show that I totally forgot it came out November 2015. Like, I thought it came out early 2016, but this is a show that I really hate personally, but I didn't give it a straight up 0 out of 10. I think I gave it a 2 out of 10. But here we go. But I love the theme. The theme is killer. So here we go. Marvel's Jessica Jones. Some are saying she might reappear in Born Again, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. She's an okay character, though. I love this theme. It's because she's a PI, right? And those movies that we've watched growing up over the years, like they have like a certain theme, right? And it starts with a piano. I like it how it starts off with that piano type um, note, if you will, not beat. um, so yeah, I'm gonna pull up the cast for um, Jessica Jones because I know there's some names in here that I still haven't nailed down. And she had 3 seasons too, so I'm not gonna explain much on this show, especially with Luke Cage, because again, there's some dodgy stuff that I really don't want to bring up or talk about. Only like maybe like pieces, but like again, I don't want to specify. I'm only sugarcoating these because I always sugarcoat a lot of dodgy stuff because I don't want the spams or the hate on my channel or on me because come on guys, that's not cool. So Christian Ritter, she's Jessica Jones. Apparently Disney renamed it, if you will, as AKA Jessica Jones. I mean, I understand they want to again have an homage to the comics, right? Let me tell you, like I haven't read the comics, but I know that they're pretty heavy stuff, pretty dark comics. So, and her door is Alice Investigations. I hope I said that right the first time, Alice. Let's see. She's a smart ass too, and a hard ass too, but she means well. But I have a lot of problems with this show. Again, I'm not going to explain everything, but like, oh my gosh, the feminist crap is just it's too much, guys. Like, why is it when some female shows like this, especially when they're dark, like they have to be feminists, whatever, and they have to treat us guys like we're stupid, or they have to mess up the guys' characters? Like, frick off with that. Frick off with that. And I really hope, honestly, I really hope Disney changes her character a lot coming up in future projects when they do reintroduce the Defenders because, oh my gosh, you can even sense it too. And like, oh my gosh, Carrie Ann Moss, who's familiar and recognizable in the Matrix movies, which I don't watch and I don't plan to watch them. She plays, what the heck does she play? Freaking Jerry Hogarth. Okay, that's Jerry G. No, I'm sorry. Jeri. And let me tell you, she's a prick. She is a prick, and I hate her for all obvious reasons. And she's a freak too. So, she's a or if you will. I hope you guys heard that because it's true. If you heard that, it's true. She really is. She really is. And of course, this is ABC we're talking about here. Any show that ABC makes or produces, they have to add some stupid political agendas in there. Like, oh my gosh, freaking hate that crap. ABC, you've been doing this for years. It's time to freaking stop. Again, you go woke, you go broke. And again, like you're trying to bring out the message like everywhere. And no, that's not good. That's not good. You gotta freaking stop. You're gonna keep losing fans and customers and people like that in general, like who used to watch your stuff because characters like that in these shows, they don't deserve recognition or attention or anything else like that. Like, oh my gosh. And she's so condescending too. Jeri Hogarth, she's like, I always win. I never lose. Like, shut the heck up, Jeri Hogarth. I swear. They should have killed her off early on. Even in the first season, they should have. But when she found out she got cancer, like, oh my gosh, it's inevitable. She doesn't have long. So again, these are fictional characters, okay, guys? Please don't take this personally. So, And Jessica has a friend named Trish Walker. Again, it's that typical, like, especially like when you're in a girl group, you're always gonna have like a Trisha, but then you call them Trish. Like, oh my gosh, Trish. Oh my gosh. Trish was okay, but I think she was also a feminist herself too. Like, she kept bringing up this, she was pretty much being like an activist to men, um, just like, Trish, can you stop? Can you stop? Apparently, I think her other alter ego was Hellcat, if I'm not mistaken. Like, when she was trying on her costumes in season 3, like, she put on this yellow suit and she's like, oh hell no, like, yeah, don't. I do love it in these shows. Some of these shows, like, they obviously they have references. Like, they show a flashback with Jessica and Trish. Like, they're in an apartment together as roommates, and apparently I had no idea that Jessica Jones's other alter ego was supposed to be what's this other character? Jewel, I believe, Jewel. And Trish had like the actual like torso, and then Jessica's like, no way, I'm not wearing that. Oh my gosh. I mean, the accuracy was so real. Let's see what else. What other characters I should get on? Let's see. Where is he? Where is he? Ika Darville, who plays Malcolm Dukan. We're just gonna say Malcolm. Malcolm starts as an addict, right? Like, he wants the good stuff. That's how he starts. But then, like, Jessica, later on tells him, like, do you want to live by these things or live what you want to do? So he gives up. He gives up the stuff, the drugs. Okay, I don't know how much YouTube is sensitive about that. Like, I don't know. I just want to be careful not to say too much. And apparently this horrible villain and his horrible villain name, Kilgrave. Who the heck comes up with these names? Kilgrave. I swear. It's like when they were making the comics back in the day, they're running out of ideas. Like, I'm pretty sure they looked at a grave like, Kilgrave. That's perfect. And apparently I think he's played by a Doctor Who actor, which, I'm not a fan of Doctor Who. I like Doctor Strange. Strange is better than Who. I don't know. He was just so annoying. And there's this line that Jessica keeps saying. She even said it in the first episode. She said it in almost every episode, but I feel like this is a nod in the comics too, right? Again, let me know. She, like, whenever she gets like these flashbacks with Kilgrave, she names these streets, and apparently they're her, like, her childhood home, and that's what happens in the first season. Let's see. Kilgrave convinces this man to move out of his house, or Jessica's old house, I'd say. And how did Kilgrave know about the location? And he made everything exactly the same. He basically forces Jessica to, what am I doing this? Like I'm like, be prepared, guys, for what I'm about to say. Just think it, like, what I remember. Like, even her childhood room. Oh my gosh, how the frick did he know where everything was? And he had 2 servants with him, and he threatened to end them if she ever left. And Jessica had this really annoying neighbor, which I don't blame her. She's pretty freaking annoying. But this is also the first time that we ever get introduced to Luke Cage, played by Mike Coulter, which, by the way, he looks like a pretty cool but chill dude. So that's awesome. Love seeing Luke Cage. I know in the other show, Luke Cage, he doesn't like being called Power Man because that's his other alter ego in the comics. So Kilgrave, basically his power is like he can mind control people and make them do stuff for him. Jessica is immune to that, which means like she can't be mind controlled. She used to be back in the day when they dated, like she really liked the guy for sure, but like in the end, she knew like how horrible he is, and like they even show like a flashback like how she unintentionally really like killing off Luke Cage's first wife, um, because she's so ridiculously strong. Because at a young age, I believe it was age 13 for her, and she got into a car crash with her family, but she and her mother, little spoiler, really only survivors, but she didn't know about her mother being alive until like season 2. Um, so Jessica gets experimented on, and apparently she's ridiculously strong. And Kristen Ritter confirmed this in a way. Like, she said, like people were asking, like, can Jessica fly? She can, but she kind of like leaps, you know. So they don't really show much of her leaping or flying, if you will. Um, but can we all agree that Trish's mother, Dorothy Walker, is a prick to Trish, especially? She hates Jessica because like those pageant moms, they force their daughters to like, they're like, oh, I didn't have this when I was growing up, so I'm putting this on my kids. It's like when they're winning, it's like I'm winning. That's like basically Dorothy's character. She abused Trish. Like she was just this little girl, and she was like pushing her, and like again abusing her, like to become the superstar. She was this actress, and now she runs a radio show called Trish Talk. Just like I feel bad for you, Trish. Really, I'm like, why didn't they just end off Dorothy there? Because she's such a prick. Seriously, there's no respect these days. So in the finale, Kilgrave mind controls Trish to like make Jessica jealous because he wants her to feel bad. Like, hey, do you remember when we used to be like this back in the day? And when he mind controlled her, Jessica, when she was mind controlled, she like Kilgrave was like smiled, and then Jessica smiled, but then like knowing Jessica, again, she's immune. She let Kilgrave walk away with Trish because that was his plan. Like, oh, like I walk away with Trish, you leave me alone. But officially, Jessica ends him off by snapping his neck. She, just like Daredevil, she has a code too, but getting rid of Kilgrave was the only option left. So seasons 2 to 3 are post Defenders, right? So let's talk a little bit about that. Again, I don't know how much I could talk about here. So season 2, Jessica is known as this hero defender, if you will. She's getting all the popularity. By the way, both her home and her business are in the same apartment complex. Like as soon as you open the door, you see like a desk, and on the right side is like her personal home. But she drinks a lot, and I mean a lot. Like Jessica, what the heck, girl? I think we need to have a little powwow. Nice talking to. Let's see. Again, I don't know where to. Again, I'm not going to explain much, but like her mother, who's played by. Oh, speaking of which, another thing I forgot to mention for season 1, Claire Temple. She shows up again. Again, Claire shows up in every show leading up to the Defenders, and she helps saves Luke's life because he was trying to kill Jessica for knowing the truth. But it pretty much foreshadowed Luke's and Claire's relationship, if you will, like later on. Like, sure, they have a relationship in Luke Cage, but like, yeah, just thought I will let you guys know on that. Okay, so who plays the mother of Janet McTeer that plays Alyssa Jones? Sounds about right. So apparently, Jessica's mom has also been experimented on by this dude who seems they try to make him like a radical dude, even like when he's like, well, not old, but he has like white and gray hairs and he has a beard, but he's still pretty chill. He's like he's kind of like a like a mad scientist, but like he's trying to be like radical dude, but he doesn't have the voice. He's just chill. Um, so she survived the crash, but like she had to get all her hair off because like shaved off, of course. What am I talking about? Because on the back of her head, it's like so fricked up, and she's worried. Like the doctor tells her that Jessica's alive, but she can't see her right now, especially in this state because she is, I'm guessing, beyond borderline schizophrenic because she's scared. So she had to wear a wig most of her life. So she got experimented on. She's ridiculously strong too. Apparently, she killed Jessica's old boyfriend back in the day when Jessica was really happy. Like, oh my gosh. But that deal that dude made, like, trying to mess with Jessica a little bit, like, that's not cool, dude. You do not do that. You don't tell your friends, like, oh, I'm going to do this to her, but then it's going to be done. Like, and then the mom, she just, like, offs him. Like, oh my gosh. Like, they were going to live together, Jessica and her old boyfriend. And then her mother realizes that she can't be around her for a while. And so the guy, radical dude doctor, if you will, he marries Jessica's mom. And like he's crazy about her, madly in love with her. Jessica goes to the guy's house. There's a basement. Jessica finds out, and then both her and her mom are locked up. The scientist, I believe, like he goes on his own, like I guess trying to destroy his work. Let's see what else. And her mother is still trying to convince her, like, hey, we could be a team, you know? And there was this one moment, this one scene where this family was in trouble. I did like this one line that Jessica pulled. Like it was, she was kind of like dissing off her mom. She's like, if you're going to tell me that with great power comes great responsibility, I'm going to be sick or whatever. Like, oh my gosh, like Spider-Man, duh, that's obvious. So they go save this one family who had a terrible accident. And then that's when Jessica came to her senses, like, hey, my mom and I can actually be a really great team. But everyone knows that they have to get rid of her because she is extremely dangerous. And I don't blame the people who want to get rid of her, you know? So, what else? In the finale, Jessica and her mom are on the Ferris wheel, right? They try to get to safety. Jessica was supposed to pull the trigger, but then Trish did. Oh man, and that was so devastating for Jessica. So Jessica made it very clear with Trish that she's not on speaking terms with her, and apparently Trisha got. Wait a minute, I'm trying to remember this very clearly. I believe. Wait a minute, didn't Trish get into an accident and she wanted to be experimented on by the doctor? I think that was the case. And then she dropped her phone. As soon as the elevator door was opening, she catches it with her foot. And then she's realizing, like, I could use these powers for good. Because originally, in season 1, there was this cop who was mind controlled by I almost call him Killmonger, but Kilgrave. That he was supposed to hurt Trish Walker. But then he started this obsession, like, hey, like, I want to apologize. Can I make up for this? And then eventually they become boyfriend and girlfriend, and then he becomes dangerous. And in season 2, he has like this huge inhaler that gives him powers. It burns his eyes a little bit, but like it makes him ridiculously strong, and that's what Trish was off on. And she felt bad for like not helping with society. And I'm pretty sure all of us as humans feel like that. Like we want to do something to help the communities and all that. Just it's we just can't get involved in certain scenarios, if you know what I mean. Otherwise, we'll be vigilantes. I don't know. Season 3, last season, of course. It starts off with like showing Trish getting used to her powers, right? Actually, now I think about it. Hang on. Who was the villain in season 2? Hang on. I just want to know. It was Alyssa Jones, okay. Because I really wasn't sure. Like, is it the mad scientist dude? But this one was worse. This dude takes the cake. I don't even know how they went through with this guy. Like, oh my gosh. He's trying to like prove a point. Like, he kidnaps people, he like seduces people, and then he like takes their pictures to show them like their true colors, if you will, and then he ends them off. Like he has a code, if you will, a strategy, and he's actually a psychopath. Like that's what makes him so scary. Like as stupid and ridiculous as he had a lot of scary moments. I'm like, can you please just go away? And then Trish ended him off. Maybe I'm sure he's listed in here too. Oh, Eric was kind of funny. The new character in here, kind of a love interest to Jessica, but he has powers too. But apparently, when someone gets too close to him, I think his nose bleeds, right? I don't remember what his specific powers were. Let's see who was. I know Foggy made an appearance in Jessica Jones. I believe it was season 2 because he had the shorter haircut. His hair gets short in the Defenders. So, oh my gosh, Gregory. So like, I don't know. It's not showing like Jeremy Bob. Oh my gosh, he has a big head. Oh my gosh, I feel bad for the guy, but like, oh my gosh, let me search up the villain's name. Gregory. Salinger? What's his name? What's his actual name? They're showing a name called Fool Killer. I don't know if you guys can see that. Is that like his actual name? Like his alter ego, Fool Killer? Either way, Gregory was just so bad. You know, I don't like it when these shows they don't really explain villains' names. Really, some of them that want to make them obvious, but like, stop trying to be so mysterious or I guess suspicious all the time. Like, just tell us. We want to know. So again, Trish is she's a street level fighter now, right? She's trying to take down like the small baddies. Yep. And Jessica is trying to like stop her from, doing all this stuff. There was something else I was going to say, but I lost it. So, and again, this is when the season when her mother Dorothy dies by Gregory. Just like, why didn't you just get rid of her in the first season? She was a bad parent to begin with. Like she abused Trish. In the end, the season finale, Trish goes way too far. She crosses a line that Jessica like basically threatened her not to do. Like she threatened her about the raft, the raft that was introduced in Captain America Civil War. Again, that was when these shows were still canon, if you will. Like, can you imagine if Trish Walker was still on the raft? Like, we would get caught up with her. I'm sure Disney will want to do something with her character too. So, and if they still want to stick with Hellcat, again, if that's her other name, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Um. So yeah, Trish does kill Gregory, and Jessica made an offer to Trish at one point. She's like, "You need to go far away somewhere else so you can have a new life." And Trish, she wants to end Gregory again, which she did. And she's just having this obsession now with like getting rid of people like that. So Jessica fights her off, in the end, and then of course Trish is known as extremely dangerous. So she goes into the helicopter and goes to the raft, but she looks at Jessica. She looks at Jessica with a very evil look, kind of like a scary look too. Like, Trish, look what you've done. You've done this to yourself. So again, Trish was an okay character. If only she would have had more character development improvements, I would like her more. I would love the show more if it didn't have all the issues I was talking about. So yeah. All right, guys, here we go. Marvel's Luke Cage. I don't like how the camera's not picking it up. Ugh. I love this thing. That is so good. Now, I do want to say this too, guys, and anyone is going to tell you this about any franchise. Whatever comes out, like a movie or a TV show, even, not everything is going to be specifically for you. Like, Jessica Jones is definitely not for me. I consider it like the worst Netflix show. The series Luke Cage was all right too, but again, I've had so many issues with this. Again, there's political agendas, and of course, again, this is when I talked a little bit about this earlier in this, like Disney, like their new low, like they should not have put this word in this show, like, and they've said it constantly in every episode. I'm pretty sure you guys know where I'm headed with this. It's the N word. Yeah, not a fan of that word. I'm so happy I can never say it because I have a lot of respect for Black people. I met a lot of Black people who are actually pretty cool, and I have I made a Black friend like, what was this, a month ago now, and it's been the first time in a long time since I've had a Black friend. Like, like, and he's pretty cool. My coworker, like, he's awesome. Seriously. And I hate hearing all the stereotypes that they're given. Like, just stop. Just stop. And I'm noticing now one of my posters, if you will, fell off of my wall. Oh my gosh. I gotta put that back up. So yeah, this show is not really for me either. I mean, it was decently low. Again, it could have done better. Yeah, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, both season ones, are definitely Blu-rays I'm not going to add to my collections in any future. I'm not a completionist like that. Again, if there's certain stuff that I don't really care for, and if they're not really important, I'm not going to add them to the collections. But it starts off not like really great, but like it's easy, you know. Luke Cage, he's working at Pop's barbershop. I don't remember what it's called, but the guy, the owner himself, Pops, he's just called that because like I think everybody there just look up to him as like a father figure, and he was cool. He was cool, but unfortunately, though, I think he didn't he last 2 episodes, guys. I thought I don't know, but anyways, this show came out 2016. I forgot to mention that. Was it early 2016? I don't know. Anyways, Pops was just a really cool character, and you immediately just liked the guy, you know. But I think it was when it was the second episode. Um, that's when they killed him off. Like, why? Why? Pops was already becoming an awesome character, and you killed him off. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That was deep, guys. That was freaking heavy. Um, and let's see. And Maria, I think that's how you pronounce her name. The actress herself, again, what the Alfre Woodard. This is the first time she's been involved with Marvel. She's been in Captain America: Civil War, but she played a different character. She worked in the State Department, you know, Human Resources. She plays a character who is just, oh my gosh, just wants control really. And she was so annoying when she kept saying Harlem, 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 Harlem. Like every episode, like, we get it, it's Harlem, okay? You don't have to say it like 1 billion times every episode. Can we all agree that was really repetitive and cringy? And her cousin Cottonmouth, which is played by, I'm sorry, I don't pronounce his name right. Like I need to see the first Mahershala Ali, yeah, who's going to be Blade in the MCU. I thought he was going to be the main baddie for this show. Like, I think I would have respected him more if they like didn't kill him off. And like, Cottonmouth, are you kidding me? Like, oh, that's so threatening. Oh, that's so scary. They killed him off halfway, like in the first season, like by his cousin Maria. So she takes over his business, which is a jazz club. And the one right hand man that I really hated the most is Shades. Freaking Shades, for crying out loud. And he's played by Theo Rossi. And let me tell you, he looks a lot like Tommy G. McGee. If you guys know who Tommy G. McGee is, he makes songs and he's a YouTuber as well. And he's best friends with Balin Levine. Oh my gosh. If they were to bring back Shades, though, hire Tommy G. McGee, okay? He would make a better Shades, okay? Do not bring back the other guy, okay? Because Shades was so annoying, and he's also a prick. Like, he kept talking like this all the time. Whenever, especially like when a bad scenario happened or whatever, he was chill. And the reason why he's called Shades is because, you know, he wore shades all the time as a kid. And that's how we got the name. Well, I guess he stole a pair of sunglasses too. I remember that. I don't know. Cottonmouth is just so annoying, guys. I'm sorry. I am sorry for any fans who love Cottonmouth. I'm sorry. Even the backstories were so fricked up. Oh my gosh. I believe, like, you know, when he was a kid, he was forced to play piano all the time. And I believe it was the grandma who owned the jazz club. Oh my gosh. And Pops back in the day used to be like kind of like a gangster in his younger days. So he left the place of the grandma's like house. Yeah, that's basically it. But the friend had to stay because Cottonmouth apparently was involved with that gang, so she grabbed pliers, and I think it was, I don't know which pointer finger it was, but she kind of ripped it off the kid. And do you know when you watch a scene and it doesn't happen to you, but you can like feel the pain physically? I was just, they're like, oh oh, oh my gosh, she did not just do that. Holy frick. Oh my gosh. I was just like, oh my gosh. But it's also good I'm watching these MA shows too, because I've always been afraid of like stitches and all that stuff, like blood. Like I gotten used to the blood by now, but like stitches. After watching all these, I'm still not used to stitches and all that. Like, oh my gosh, I hope I never get to have stitches one day. And she was torturing the kid too, so like, oh my gosh. Oh, what's funny is that Cottonmouth had a poster behind him, Biggie Smalls. I'm familiar with him. I just not a fan of his music, and that's okay. You know, we all have different tastes in music, so not everybody wants to be the king or queen. Okay, so don't even go there, Cottonmouth. Um, and of course, Claire comes back. She visits her mom at their own restaurant, apparently, and that's when she met Luke again. Um, And apparently there was this bullet that Hammertech Industries, again, if you've seen Iron Man 2, that's when Hammertech got involved. Hammertech made a bullet that would kill, or at least attempt to kill, immune superhumans, right? So Hammer created this bullet, like it gets stuck on the skin, but like it explodes and it makes you, I guess, sick. So that's what happened to Luke. He got shot with one of them. And they had to find, yeah, they had to go look for this other doctor. I don't know why I'm saying it like that, like it's his doctor, but like that experimented on him when he was in jail, because he used to be a cop in his day and he went to jail for a crime he did not commit. So they also showed the backstory, like how he was living through jail, like how he's going to be the chosen one, if you will, to be experimented on. And obviously he got experimented on. But I loved how when he was outside, like out in public, but this was nighttime, he had, again, they were killing it with the comic book accuracy look. He had like the metal head brace and like the arm braces, the metal arm braces. Like, dude, that would have been perfect. Keep those. Keep those. At least he got to wear a yellow shirt, you know, because that's part of Luke Cage's costumes, his torsos. So they go back to the guy, and Claire helps out. The messed up thing that this doctor did to Luke in order for him to become immune again was to put him in hot boiling acid. And Luke was supposed to give like a thumbs up, like if it was done or whatever. Like, how can you physically do that? So after that, he is 10 times more stronger than he was. So the bullets that are made specifically for him cannot affect him. So him and Claire get together, like finally. I mean, the first time I saw Claire in Daredevil, I was just like, Claire, you're so freaking beautiful. I'm pretty sure every dude was like that when they saw Claire for the first time. Come on, let's be real here. I'm not the only one, so I'm calling you guys out too. So apparently there's another big baddie, which apparently he was, I guess he was the main villain, and apparently it turned out to be Luke Cage's real brother or stepbrother, because from what we've gotten from his father's backstory is pretty fricked up. Let's see. Let's look. Is that him, Willis Stryker? Yeah, that's him. I recognize him. Like, he became so annoying every time he tried to, manipulate Luke. And I almost forgot the awesome Detective Misty Knight. Even with her, when I saw her for the first time, again, I was like, dang. Oh my gosh. Like, she's just so cool. She is just so freaking cool, guys. So, Luke's brother gets a suit, kind of like a robotic suit, to beat Luke up. What else? But Luke takes him down. I don't remember what happened in the last episode. Oh, wait. Oh, it's coming back to me now. This leads up to the Defenders. Because in the backstory, they showed Luke escaping jail because, he didn't want to be experimented on anymore. So he left jail. So he skipped out a lot of jail time. So, like, the police from the other jail, which is kind of far away, I think, told him, like, he needs to go back there to make up the jail time. So he does. So I believe he stays there for, a year now? And that was so devastating for Claire, too. Like, you guys just gotten together. But it makes up for, again, later on, the Defenders. So season 2. Season 2 is post-Defenders, okay? See. Of course, just like with Jessica Jones, Luke Cage is known as this hero. Again, a defender. People are giving him this high praise. And apparently this terrible villain for season 2 was so bad too. What? Oh my gosh. John McCleaver. Bushmaster. Oh. Again, what's with these awful, awful names? They're so freaking bad. They're so bad. Oh my gosh. It's like it keeps getting worse and worse, doesn't it? I think Netflix Marvel villains have just really died down. You can't come up with a better villain name, or even the villain themselves. Anyways, what time is it? Oh, it's 10:16 already. Jeez. I'm trying not to make this too long, guys. Just bear with me. He's like, oh, I want to reclaim Harlem like it's mine. Like he's trying to stop like Maria. Like he wants to take over the jazz club and all that. And then Luke gets his butt beaten by Bushmaster. And Shades and Maria, they're dating. They started dating at the very end of like season 1, and they're showing him more in season 2. Like he's a younger guy and she's older than him, but like I said, guys, like that trend, if you will, it's starting to become somewhat more common now. So yeah, it's pretty soon that's going to become the new norm. So anyways, they both run the jazz club. And Misty Knight, again, this happened in Defenders. We'll get to that. She has a robotic arm made by RANT Industries, Danny Rand, the immortal Iron Fist. She's trying to get used to it. So it makes her more cool, too. Speaking of Iron Fist, Danny actually makes an appearance in Luke Cage. And this is a perfect opportunity for both of them. Like, they basically kind of like, I don't know if they foreshadowed something, if you will, like the Heroes for Hire. And it's another popular comic in, the comics. And Finn Jones really wants to come back. Like, he's trying to pitch an idea for Marvel Studios. Like, hey, create a Disney Plus series, Heroes for Hire. Like, bring back Luke Cage and Iron Fist, because those two were definitely cheated out for sure. Like, they were supposed to get, I believe, 3 seasons each. Anyways, like after Defenders, they get along pretty well. Like, and Danny's trying to help Luke like control his anger, because Danny used to be angry like in the first season of Iron Fist. It was just so cool. Like, let's see. I believe, what did they use their powers for? Like, there's a gang. I think Luke Fist goes like this, and then Danny uses the Iron Fist to, like how Thor and Cap, like, when they team up with their powers, like Cap holds the shield up, and then Thor hits the hammer to make like this kind of like sonic boom in a way, and makes that bell sound. That's kind of like what they did. That's pretty cool. Like, we need more crossovers like that, seriously. And of course, Maria, being Maria, she became more of a problem. Like, she's not really the main baddie, but she has a daughter now who runs her own shop. It's a little shop for medicine. And she's a really cool character, but unfortunately, we know the dark truth that Maria never really wanted her daughter, so Maria is a monster. She is. Even her own daughter said that. What Maria could have done is she could have put her into a foster home or given her to adoptive parents, anything like that. What else? So Bushmaster no longer becomes a threat. Him and Luke Cage make a deal where Bushmaster leaves town for good. But what happened in the season finale though? I don't know. All I know is that Maria was convicted and she's going to be in prison for a long time, and her daughter actually poisoned her. So when Luke got to see Maria for the last time, I don't know. What was I trying to go with there? Like, she starts coughing up blood, and then Luke is just fine with her dying. I'm like, she's a monster. She's a horrible person. She was trying to, control and dictate people in Harlem. Like, she wanted to have control. Like, she's a prick. That's all she is. And now, I was even surprised that Maria, in her will, like, she didn't want her daughter to have the jazz club. Like, she wanted it for Luke Cage himself. So, in the end, Luke has this really nice yellow suit, and, like, he's turning the jazz club for good. And in season 3 of Jessica Jones, he comes back for one final appearance, and he's in that suit. So, I like Luke Cage, the character. He's freaking awesome. I don't remember what I rated that show. Was it a 3 out of 10? I don't know. It's on my Instagram, so. Let's see here. Oh, come on. My apps are so... Okay. All right, guys. Here we go. Marvel's Iron Fist. My second favorite Marvel Netflix show. This really takes me back to 10th grade. Just on a Saturday morning, just watching the first episodes. It's still there, those nostalgic feels, guys. Being 16, just watching Iron Fist. So March 2017. I remember watching the first trailer. Remembered it so well. We got the great, another British actor, Finn Jones. Apparently, what I found out is that Marvel casted him like, what was it? What did they say? Like February 2016, and then the next month, March, they start shooting. Like, wow, that fast? Don't you have to go like through some process or whatever with actors? And he refused to have some like martial arts training, and the timing, the scheduling was so bad. Now, yes, my rant is going to be here, so we'll talk about this after I talk about the first 2 seasons. But you know what? I definitely enjoyed the show for what it was, guys. Okay, 10 out of 10 show. Okay, I enjoyed the character Iron Fist for sure. My only problem with like martial arts shows, and I still fear this to this day, if I ever take karate one day, I do not want to be involved with, because there's a lot of pagan stuff that goes on with martial arts. Like, they're always going to pull that BS crap, like, oh, the Zen master, or I got to focus on my chi, if you will. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I hate that crap. I hate that kind of crap. And when it comes to meditation, it's going to be me praying, okay? That's going to be my meditation, okay? I'm going to be calm, focused, and faithful. Not Zen, faithful, okay? So I hope none of you guys believe in that crap. Like, oh, it's so spiritual. Oh my gosh. I've become one with my chi. Like, can't we just have a decent martial arts show where it has none of that crap? Anyways, I remember the first episode pretty well. Like, Danny Rand, he comes home pretty much looking like a hobo. He goes to his own building, but the people don't believe him. I'm thinking, like, wouldn't they want to ID him first? I'm pretty sure everybody had that question too. Like, as soon as he goes in the building, like, wouldn't they want to ID him first to confirm that he's actually Danny Rand? So he goes up to to the very high level, which is the last one, to go see his two childhood friends. Let's see. Yeah, Ward and Joy. They run the company because, like, I'm pretty sure you guys know why they were friends, right? Because both of their parents were best friends. Like, both of their dads started the company together and all that. Unfortunately, though, Danny's parents died in a plane crash, and for 15 years, he went to this. I don't think they said a portal, but like he went to another reality, if you will, called Kunlun for 15 years. And apparently, the role of the immortal Iron Fist is that not only have to defend Kunlun itself, but you got to like murder those who stand in your way with no hesitation. And with Danny, he wouldn't have it. He would not have it. So Rand Enterprises and his friends were denying him and all that. Like, they were like the real Danny Rand is dead every time. And Joy and Ward sent him to a psych ward because they think he's crazy, but he's not. You guys are the crazy ones. And let me tell you, I do not like Joy and Ward. Both siblings, but they still annoy the crap out of me. So what does Joy do? Oh my gosh, a minion just went off. Oh, that scared me. What does Joy do? She sends Danny a bag of M&Ms at the psych ward, and he knows that she doesn't like the brown M&Ms. So he takes all of them out, sends them back to her, and then she's like, oh. Like, now do you believe him? That's Danny Rand. What else? Colleen Wing. Oh my gosh. Like, she's cute, guys, honestly. Like, she was the perfect love interest for Danny. Like, she runs her own dojo, just like, oh my gosh. And she also has a personal home there too. So like, yeah, she freaking owns it. And I love that. So Danny was asking her if he would have like a job with her, like train with her students. But what he didn't know was that her and her students are basically under the hand, like, and her mentor is so fricked up, which we'll get in a little bit. Let's see, what else? I mean, the fist, the Iron Fist is so cool. Like, it glows up, obviously, and turns into orange. But I had no idea he could like heal others with the fist. But it comes with a higher risk. He not loses his life source, if you will, but like he's just in pain for a while. But he'll come back up. Any other characters? Okay, let's see. Harold Meacham. What is his villain name? But I thought the actor who played him did such a phenomenal job. Like, finally, a decent villain that I can actually like. And he had me convinced that he was on Danny's side, but nope, he's just like, and he wants out of the hand too. So Madame Gao threatens him and all that, but it's just, and even he was, what was it like with Elektra's case? Like he was brought back to life with that stupid can, whatever you want to call it. And he hates his son Ward, and he's desperate to meet his daughter again for the first time in a long time because apparently he died due to cancer years ago, and Ward was helping him out for a long time, and even he, like, obviously he knew that, but he kept that big secret, and apparently he became an addict too. Yeah, not good. Shoot, what was it? Okay, just want to show you guys this quick. Here's my Iron Fist minifigure. I have the real head for the minifigure, but like the printing is just so bad now, so I'm trying to get my hands on a new one. So yeah, Harold Meacham, like I thought he was such a cool villain. And Danny, you know, like they ID him and they have a press conference, and he owns the business, and like sure, everyone can agree that he has no experience in business, which I'm not judging. I'm not making fun of him. That's just a fact because he never grew up that way, and money means nothing to him, thank God. But in a business meeting, he was like pitching something that is actually good. And of course, you know, with these businesses, they're like, oh, our stocks, you know, they're gonna go down and all that. Um, and of course, there's a lot of the hand being brought up here again, which leads up to the defenders. Um, what else is there to talk about? I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff. Okay, I hope people aren't getting on the show because it's lighthearted. Like when it comes to my favorite stuff, like when it comes to movies and TVs, I expect things to be different. Like sure, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage were pretty dark, but Iron Fist had a lighter tone. I like that. Sure, you can still have some darker elements. Like with darker shows, they can still have some lighter elements, but you expect that series to be dark. So I really hope that's not the case because if it is, like, oh, it's too family friendly. Again, that's going to be part of my rant. So stay tuned for that. Let's see what else. What else? Oh yeah, we'll get to the, I guess, the monastery, if you will. So Colleen Wing's mentor, I'm sure they have him listed here. Let's see. And of course, like Claire comes back, like I've said. Bakuto, he's the leader of there, but he's not the leader of the hand, though. He's obviously he's one of the head members of the hand. So he's trying to manipulate Danny and all that to convince him, like, oh, the hand is good. He even, you know, manipulated Colleen, like, oh, the hand is good because, you know, like we can have like a good cause and all that. And she's trying to get to Danny, you know. One thing I do want to say to this though, when it came to that one scene, like when Claire was there, like when Danny offered Colleen dinner, I didn't like when he was praying, if you will, to these three false gods. Okay, I do not like that. Again, when it comes to martial arts, they pray to these false gods, and I hate that so much. I hate that. If you're gonna pray, pray to the actual Lord and Savior Himself. Okay, you freaking got that? Shame on you, Danny. Why? Anyways, so apparently, they, um, Bakuto has Madame Gao there held captive, if you will, captured. But obviously, Danny knows the horrible truth, and apparently, Danny's friend from Kunlun, where is he? Steel Serpent. Okay, I guess. What kind of a name is that? He breaks him out, and like what I've told you guys about the what it means to be the immortal Iron Fist. Like he's been jealous of Danny because he's not meeting the requirements, so he has to be hard headed all the time. And he's like, this is your destiny. You're supposed to be this, not like this. And I remember Danny had to go through like tests, like how the immortal Iron Fist needs to be tested. Madame Gal was testing him, so if he killed Madame Gal, then he would like become what I've said, like kill others that stand in your way. But he didn't because he had to save this girl that they've captured. Anyways, Danny escapes. They go to Claire's apartment, and he's on the roof meditating. And then Colleen, she's on the roof. She's still trying to convince him, manipulate him. And I love how Danny's just like, I'm the immortal Iron Fist, sworn enemy of the hand. I love the way how he talks. Like the way that Finn Jones speaks in his American accent, it's so spot on. I love it. I love like how he talks like this, especially like in bad situations where he kind of has to talk fast, but it's so cool. And it's worth it, every time. Okay, well, how did that original saying go? I am Danny Rand, the immortal Iron Fist, sworn enemy of the hand. And of course, the hand wants the Iron Fist. Obviously not to cut his arm off, but we'll get to that in the Defenders. Colleen Wing, like she's, still being controlled by the hand, if you will. But she's been betrayed by her master, of course, and they try to kill her. But she's come to her senses, left the hand, and joined forces with Danny again. And Danny had no idea that great, what's his name? That Harold was behind everything the whole time. So even Ward wanted to kill his own dad because he abused him, and especially not loving him. So I remember Ward did kill him for the first time, but he had no idea that he's immortal. So he dumps his body into the water, and then a few days later, like he comes back. But apparently when you come back from the dead, your memory is not it's not fully developed yet until it starts like you recollect your thoughts again. So yeah, I believe, was it Ward that shot his dad on top of the roof, like in the season finale? Like high up on the roof, and then he's just gone, but they don't show him like splatter or anything. And Danny's friend, who's arrogant and I guess a narcissist, if you will, is still obsessed with it. He's like, you shouldn't have been given this gift. You've been given this gift for a reason. Like, come on, man. Why? Okay, season two again, post Defenders. Actually, wait, no, you know what? I'll talk about this a little bit. It's regarding Iron Fist. And people have a lot of speculations because of this movie that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. Season 2. So after Matt made Danny promise him to protect his city, Hell's Kitchen. Again, this is in Defenders. He wears a yellow mask. In the flashbacks, they show him like wearing like the comic book yellow mask with the black and white eyes. The test to see who's really worth it, I guess. Like who's really the one to have the Iron Fist. And apparently, like when he has the symbol for the Iron Fist, it's not a tattoo. Okay, it got marked. So he goes into a cave. He fights the dragon, and that's when he gets the mark, if you will. But it burns. So. So his friend becomes more obsessed and jealous, and so he goes to he met up with Joy in France at the season 1 finale, how to like get rid of Danny, and this was her plan. So she comes back, you know, being like those typical rich people. Like she becomes, let's just say, really more stupid and more selfish. And I can't believe she straight up said this to Danny in the later episode. She's like, my life was perfect until you came in our lives. Like, I don't get it. You were happy for him to be back. But in season 2, you're telling him that he's been a pain in your life? What the heck kind of a friend is that? Basically asking Danny to sign a contract where to give his company to them, to her specifically. Ward is going through therapy, I guess. Well, not therapy. It's like those groups where you get together, you have a mentor, and you talk about your feelings and all that. I think that's pretty cool. It'd be kind of nice to go to a group like that, you know, a support group. I think that's what it's called, the support group. Let's see what else. Detective Misty Knight pops up in a few episodes here and there because it would make sense. Like she got the arm from Danny, so I think it would be nice to repay the visit. So she was quite in a few episodes actually, so that's pretty nice. Let's see what else. So apparently Danny's friend goes off to a facility, if you will, and finds a dead body of a original Iron Fist, if you will, but cuts off the chest where the mark is, and like you can see the rib cage, and like, oh, and of course there's this stupid ritual that he performs to become the Iron Fist. It really pisses me off. And of course, he took Danny's powers. I thought Danny would have 2 fists going, but that happens in the season finale. Which surprisingly, this season got 10 episodes instead of 13 because season 2 got greenlit. But unfortunately, due to the Netflix negotiations, apparently Disney wasn't supposed to use the Defenders characters, like the Netflix characters, at all for the next 2 years until their contract was up. Basically their contract was up anyway, so like Netflix doesn't really own those characters. Like they distribute them, they supported them, but like they're Disney's, so that's why they're on Disney Plus. So anyways, Danny and Colleen, they do everything to stop Danny's friend. I'm just gonna keep calling him Danny's friend, to stop being the Iron Fist. So Colleen Wing actually takes the Iron Fist. And a lot of people, again, it's a 50-50% chance with the Iron Fist. They either want Danny Rand or Colleen Wing to the Iron Fist. And she gets the tattoo on this arm, and then it glows white. Like, that's pretty cool. So Danny's friend goes to the hospital, but like Danny is 100% to make sure with his friend, like he's not on speaking terms anymore. So that's that. That is it. Okay. And this at the end, you know, he asks Ward to go with him on a private plane, and then what was it that they say, like 6 months later, or it wasn't on a deserted island, but they were at a bar, and out of nowhere, Danny has the Iron Fists or fists again, but there's guns involved. Like Iron Fist guns? Can he form those? I don't know. I was so interested in that. Like, oh my gosh. You could have at least greenlit a season 3 for Iron Fist. All right, guys. This is when we get to the ultimate crossover series for the Netflix series. Marvel's The Defenders. Yep. Again, I don't know why the camera's not picking that up. This show, I was excited for this show to come out August 2017. And I remember I actually watched the first 4 episodes, like, oh yeah, this is starting to come together. The chemistry with all these guys. Awesome. Oh, wait a second. Oh, hang on. After this thing. I was telling myself the rant comes after this. Okay, I am so sorry, guys, but hang on. I want to talk about something here that people have been speculating, and I had no idea about this. So Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, right? People were speculating like, what if the next movie could introduce Iron Fist? And I had no, because like both characters are involved with martial arts, right? So like, I don't know. Could they try to reintroduce Danny Rand if they can? Well, unless if Finn Jones convinces Marvel to have that Heroes for Hire series to come out with Luke Cage, and who knows, we'll see. But like, I've heard the theories and speculations, but do you guys have any theories on the connections, if you will? Let me know in the comments. Okay, I shouldn't have started that thing, but you know what? Whatever. Here's my rant. Okay, ever since the show came out 2017, that show immediately got hate. Okay. You can't blame Finn Jones for having I guess like restricted time on like training and all that. Like, it's not his fault, okay? Like, again, stupid people, they're trying to find negative things like drama just to make try to make people feel bad. Like you should be watching this. Like, they're like, oh, the show Iron Fist is so weak, or the character himself is so weak. Like, guys, why the hate? Why the hate? I want to know from you guys personally, if any of you guys have watched the series, because I'm with Finn Jones all the way. I don't think we could ever replace him, okay? Because he is the man. Sure, if Marvel had the proper scheduling, and if they didn't if they weren't behind schedule, like, he would have had time to prep. And like, so what if he did come back, but he would have to get more buff, right? Like, I'm sure that's what you guys want. Like, he needs to really work out so he could look buff to be the immortal Iron Fist. Like, stop blaming the guy, okay? Again, I love the show. I love the show so much. Sure, you can attack me for liking it, but guess what? I don't care. I love the show. So, guys, come on. Stop giving this show crap, okay? It doesn't get enough credit. So, guys, please stop. Like, again, you just want to find an excuse to be negative all the time, right? Is that right? Or am I wrong? Am I wrong, guys? To the Iron Fist haters out there, am I wrong? Are you just bored out of your freaking minds and you just want to ruin people's days by saying, oh, Iron Fist sucks? Why? Why? All right, anyways, let's get on to the Defenders. Finally, this show, this 8-episode arc. It should have been greenlit for another season, really. I can kind of see why they had to make it 8 episodes for the plot. Sigourney Weaver, awesome actress. She was a cool villain. She had some scary moments when she was threatening and all that. So this is when Elektra comes into play. Remember that stupid contraption I told you about, like how they bring people back to life? Like, yeah, like they show backstory, like how they were training her and all that. Which, by the way, with the backstories, I forgot to mention this is it for season 3 of Daredevil. Like they had an episode committed to Karen Page, like with her backstory, like where she came from. Like her family owned a business, like a restaurant, and then she was dealing with drugs and all that, and she had to move town because she she didn't really commit a murder, but she kind of killed her brother by accident. So, and her dad wants nothing to do with her. So, I'm sorry, guys, I didn't bring that up for season 3. Anyways, the episode starts with Danny and Colleen, fighting Elektra, but they don't know it's actually her because they don't know her yet. What else does it go off to? Jessica Jones, then Daredevil, and Luke Cage. Just getting caught up with everything. Like I love the lawyering up scene with Matt Murdock. Like he's defending this kid on a wheelchair who's got paralyzed recently, and he's just giving him decent advice, how to live his new life. Let's see what else. There's this earthquake going on by the hand, of course, but they don't know that yet. I think Matt sensed it right away. Like obviously he has the super senses, but I think he knew it was the hand. I love the fight scene between like Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Like, who are you? Who are you? Like Danny's just trying to punch Luke Cage, but he can't because he's so ridiculously strong. But when he uses the fist, hits Luke in the face. I just love how they team up like that. Again, Colleen Wing, she knows Claire, and like they brought these two together, and I love how they're still talking to each other. Danny's like, "I'm the immortal Iron Fist." Luke's like, "You what?" It's so funny. And Jessica is in some kind of I don't know if it's safe to say legal trouble, but she gets in trouble with Misty Knight, and Matt comes in to save her, I guess. And my name is Matthew Murdock. I'm your lawyer. I'm a Catholic, so I have a soft spot for hopeless causes. It's a terrible joke. Oh man, that was funny. Like, and a pretty funny diss too. And at RANT Enterprises, like Danny finds out who's behind like the I guess the drug trade, if you will. And Sigourney Weaver's character is involved. He goes to the board meeting, and then it's all hand. It's all the hand. And then Luke comes in, and then Jessica and Matt made it just in time, but Matt needed something to cover his face, so he borrowed Jessica's scarf, and he was like, doing what he did in the black suit. And then Jessica's like, "You look like an a-hole," and Matt is just like, "It's your scarf." Like, ooh, burn. Nice. Again, Defenders is a straight up 10 out of 10 for me. What else? They go into the elevator, and of course, a cool hallway fight scene, but Matt doesn't sense heartbeat from Elektra because when you come back from the dead from that stupid contraption, I don't know if your heartbeat stops, but when Matt encounters someone like that, he doesn't hear their heartbeat. Like with this one guy he had to fight in season 2, but then of course Stick killed him off officially, like finally. Speaking of Stick, they go to this restaurant, right? And they have their little argument, but then they have dinner, and then Stick comes in, and I remember like he was caught by the hand, and like he had to cut his hand off to be free. But he meets up with the Defenders and fights with them. But of course, he's also being manipulative. And the reason why the hand wants the Iron Fist, like they want it drained from Danny, so that there's a pathway apparently underground, and there's a building that they've built because there was this gigantic hole in Daredevil season 2, and we finally know what that's for. So, with the Defenders, like Daredevil, he comes up with a plan to blow it up. He's basically the leader, and I love that. I love how Danny is obsessed with Daredevil because I love it how he calls him a blind ninja. Like, that's so funny. What else? They go into this warehouse, right? And they capture this guy who's part of the Hand, one of the members. But I think, Stick kills him. And the other defenders want to defend. They want to, like, protect Danny from going out to the real world for a little while, just until they figure out a plan. So he fights him and Matt, just like fight like I don't know. They're both so awesome. They fight it out, but they knock him out and like they rope him to a chair. Luke Cage watches over him and all that. So anyways, they go follow the plan. Like they're setting up bombs for the building, right? So they go underground. That's where the Hand is. Claire, Colleen Wing, and Misty Knight go try to set up the bombs at least, and one of the members of the Hand tries to kill all of them, and then Misty gets in the way, not on purpose per se, but just like to step in, and then that's when her arm got cut off. So, man, jeez. And Elektra, man, I still hate her. This version, at least. She was still trying to convince Danny to open this door that leads to a tunnel. Of course, the defenders and the Hand, they fight. Most of the members of the Hand are gone. Sigourney Weaver's character apparently has cancer, but Elektra killed her off. And she's the leader of the Hand. And this is when Matt tells Danny to protect his city, Hell's Kitchen. So Matt, as usual, tries to convince Elektra, and Elektra still has feelings for him, but she kind of has to kill him if he doesn't join her. But then that's when the whole building just collapses, like the bombing and all that. Just like that's where it sets up Daredevil season 3. I gotta say, like, everybody going their separate ways. Like, oh my gosh, this is just like the Avengers, the Netflix Avengers, really. Gosh, what a great show! All right, here we go. Marvel's The Punisher. Still can't get it to focus. We're almost done here, guys. 10 out of 10 show. Right here, guys. 4th favorite show. And I'm happy I got to watch the movies first. Again, this music is so fitting for his character. Like you always hear like this kind of music for characters like him. Oh my goodness. Such a good show. And it really does support the Second Amendment a lot, which, considering that this show was, produced by Disney and ABC Studios, I'm surprised how they pulled it off because, with everything that's going on. And I support the Second Amendment all the way. All the way, guys. Let's do this. So John Bernthal, man, he's back at it again. Because his character was so, like, really good in season 2 of Daredevil, they decided to give him a series. So why the heck not, right? And he is the first character to have his completed character arc just with 2 seasons. So I'm happy to say that I've watched the first two movies. Like, here's Thomas Jane's version of The Punisher. This one's good. Punisher Warzone is pretty bad. Which, by the way, I think season 2 was like a mix of both of the movies, which I will talk about. So it picks up where we left off with Frank Castle, right? Like after, I think it's immediately after season 2 of Daredevil. Like he starts finishing the job, and then 6 months later, he's forgetting, like he's leaving the title, the mantle, and he's making everyone believe that, oh, Frank Castle is dead. And he's growing out his hair. He has a beard. He's working at a construction company, and like we all know the story with the Punisher. Like his family gets killed. Looks like my cat wants to come in. Hang on, guys. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. You ready to come in? So yeah. You know what? Hey. Here you go, guys. It's a little toothless cameo. Anyways, yeah, we pretty much know the story of Frank Castle and his family. Like, his story was told a little bit in season 2 of Daredevil, which is good. Like, they were being vague about it. Like, that's good. Like, again, when it comes to these shows, like, you want to tell them on their project now. That's how it works. So he gets so angry, like he has this hammer and he's like beating the concrete, and these guys are just making fun of him because he's not talking. I don't blame the guy for being pissed off. Seriously, like every time he thinks of that awful day, like he's just like, oh! And again, he sounds like a big dog, you know? So funny. And what's his face? Well, Billy Russo is one of his good veteran buddies. He's rich. I was really liking his character until I found that, like, I had no idea. Like, before I started season 2, I looked up his character, and he's like, that's Jigsaw? The heck? Let me tell you guys, Jigsaw and Punisher Warzone is so bad. I was expecting like kind of like a cliche name like Scarface, but like Jigsaw. Do you know who Jigsaw is? Like the real Jigsaw? I don't know. There's rumors that Ben Barnes might come back to play Jigsaw. Like if Disney can pull it off. So yeah, something happens at the construction site. Castle, you know, he's forced to like go back to his old roots. And this really cool guy, which was portrayed very well. His name is David, but he's known as Microchip. And like he played such a better David than the other David in the first Punisher movie. Oh my gosh, he's such a funny but cool computer geek. Like he had a lot of serious moments though, while he was still being cool. Like, yes, we need more characters like him. Like basically laid back. But David asked Castle to come join him, and he has like an underground like lair, if you will, and he has like security cameras in his house because apparently his family thought that he died some time ago for telling the truth and exposing what was going on. So he has security cameras in his house, like just to make sure that his wife and his 2 kids are okay, and his son, I believe it's his. Is his son old? Is the oldest or is the daughter? I think the son might be the oldest. He starts to become meaner and aggressive and a bully, especially to his sister, because like he doesn't have his dad around, and like I feel bad for the kid though. Hey, bud. This guy's. Hey, bud. Say hi to the camera. Look. Oh, yeah. Look at that, bud. Yeah. You're natural. Thumbs up for Toothless, guys. Anyways, obviously, like Frank Castle doesn't play well with others, so him and David don't get along pretty well. But eventually, like I knew their friendship was gonna develop, you know, become such good friends. Now, how do I pronounce her name? Dinah Madani? Yeah, like, oh man, she is so cool now. Like, okay, in the first episode when she was introduced, I thought she was an annoying prick too, because she's like sassy and all that. Like, she came from a war zone. But I don't blame her now, because she gotten a lot better as the episodes go on. She became a lot cooler in season 2. She just got hired for this new job. She has her partner with her. Sam Stein. Unfortunately, he got killed by Billy Russo, who became Dina's boyfriend later on. Apparently, I kind of suspected this with Billy. He was using her to get I guess secrets or information. So he starts hanging out with her, if you guys know what I mean. There were some scenes, and they were quick, just okay, can we move this along now? Can we move along now? You guys in the comments better not be like, Blu-ray, come on. Don't you enjoy it? Like, stop. No, I don't. Just stop. Hey, bud. Am I going to be holding you the whole time, bud? You're so chill. Yes. So we find out that Billy is the main culprit behind this, but thank God we have a character from the Daredevil series. Like, when you have a character like the Punisher from Daredevil, you gotta have at least a Daredevil character, and that goes to the one and only Karen Page. Every time I see her on screen, I'm like, Karen, yes, we love you. Seriously, like, I hope she comes back for the MCU, guys. Pretty sure most of us want her back. My gosh, she appeared in a lot of episodes. I love that she's like there for moral support for Frank, and like he cares about her a lot, because the trial of the century, if you will, was in season 2 of Daredevil, like the trial of Frank Castle. But she was there all the way to support him. Anyways, man. Apparently there was this other guy. He wasn't necessarily a villain, but he was also behind everything. But like, what the heck is his name? What did he go by? Mr. Orange? Is it Mr. Orange? Either way, that's still pretty bad. That's freaked up. And there's this other guy, this veteran, Lewis Wilson. He just came out of the military, and he's still pretty young, and he has a lot of issues. Again, I don't want to keep saying this for a lot of these characters, but like, he might be way past borderline schizophrenia. I don't know, guys. It's just, you guys are the real experts, though. So let me know in the comments. You can get on me about this stuff. Like, Blu-ray, you're so stupid. He's not like, oh my gosh. It's okay. I can take it. You're like, yeah, I can see. I am an idiot. Okay, like, at least I try to pick up with this stuff. So, oh my gosh, what else is there to talk about? I mean, we know the true secret now, that Billy Russo was behind the murder of Frank's family. He was pretty much like an uncle to them. Like, he loved them so much, but like, I guess he had no other choice, apparently. And him and Frank hash it out at the carousel where that moment happened. So they have the fight, and then Dina comes into the scene, but she gets shot in the head. But oh my gosh, I almost jumped out of my seat. I almost fell off of my seat, because when Billy shot her in the head, it was just like, it wasn't even like in there, like kind of like, I think it just went like, like maybe cut some skin off. Like, oh my gosh, like, oh, that's not bad. That's not too bad, as long as she's still alive, because I was really, really rooting for her. And I was hoping for Frank and Dina to hook up really in season 2. Like, she's the only woman left in your life, Frank, so might as well. But then again, when you look at Frank's situation, you think like Frank shouldn't be in another relationship, because after what he's been through. But they again, because of the writing and all that, like, and the acting, like, they really know how to like work with Frank Castle's character, like how to like go back to the dating world. That they explore that more in season 2. So Frank and David made a deal where if Frank could check on David's family every once in a while just to make sure that they're okay, and of course he had to go by a name Pete because it's the perfect cover. The mom of the 2 kids is really nice. Unfortunately, though, the first time that they met, she hit Frank with her car without seeing, but he forgives her. But I understand how this works with cars. I've learned this in school. Like if you hit somebody or a car, insurance stuff. I don't want to talk about, guys. It's just let's not get into that. Okay, you'll learn more about that when you get into high school. Okay. Anyways, she's making up for Frank, or Pete, if you will, and I love how Frank is hanging out with the son of the mother because he's got to at least have like a father figure in his life, and David almost blew it. Which, by the way, I think. Excuse me. I was rooting for David actually because I wanted him to okay, I understand. I have seen this so many times in movies and TVs, like when a person comes back from the dead, all of a sudden, they leave the family shocked and surprised, and of course I saw this coming when Billy made a deal with Frank and David, right, to give the family back, but give Frank and David to them, to Billy. I had no idea that David was wearing a vest. So there was a shootout, right? So they shot David, and I think they shot him 3 times, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but it might have been 3 times. And of course, they do that thing. I'm pretty sure they got it from the first Punisher movie. Frank Castle in there, they put him in they have him in the ER, and they're like, oh my gosh, can I get out of this? Of course, I saw this coming. I'm pretty sure most of us saw this coming when it came to David reuniting with his family. He finally saw them again for the first time in a year, and his wife goes up to him, slaps him, and then starts hitting him, and she's crying, and he's trying to hold her, oh my gosh, I saw that coming. But still, it was so heartbreaking, guys. I get it though. Curtis, another one of Frank Castle's friends, from, of course, from the military. He has a support group, and that's where the veterans meet. And apparently he's lost a leg on his right side. I'm I salute you, Curtis, all the way. Anyways, where was I going up with this? Well, let's see. Lewis Wilson became so paranoid, and he wanted to continue to serve his country. He became so dangerous, and he died in the end. He tried to take out Karen Page, which you should not do that. I would protect Karen Page with my life if she was a real person. Seriously. And I would give her a big old hug. Seriously. I want her to be my best friend for sure, just because she is just so awesome. She's so awesome. So in the season finale, that's when Frank and Billy meet at the carousel again, where that tragic day happened. They try to hash it out. Well, hash it out. And again, that's when Dina got shot in the head, but again, it was just no, I was starting to like you. Oh my gosh. And then I was just rooting for Frank, get Billy Russo. But then I should have seen this coming, and I'm happy I saw Warzone when I did. He was just bashing and crushing and smashing Billy's face onto a mirror, and he's like, I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to keep your life, so I'll make sure you live miserable for the rest of your life. Ugh. And somehow that made him lost his memory. Oh, I guess if you hit him in the head that hard, it makes sense because it explains more of his character in season 2. So they clear Frank Castle's name. So he sticks with Pete, but like, what was his last name? It was so long and complicated and hard to remember. But he leaves New York. But they, I should have seen this coming when they had the wraps on his face. Like, I should have been like, that's Jigsaw. That's freaking Jigsaw, you guys. After this first season, I looked up the cast. I'm like, again, I was like, that's Jigsaw? I should have freaking known. Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. So I believe it was, the day after I finished season 1. I immediately started season 2. Again, this is when I feel like season 2 really took a combo between the first Punisher and Warzone, which is a good mix. And they have like a 2-villain arc, which, by the way, I thought these 2 villains were going to team up and like gang up on Frank. So he's in Ohio, right? He's at a bar. What else can I say? Let's skip the boring stuff. So this one girl, I'm pretty sure she's in college, as she claimed to be. Her name is Amy, but she goes by Rachel, right? Apparently she's being blackmailed, and these freaks are coming to get her, and like, I think they wanted it off her. But Frank, with his instincts, giving a crap, he stops them. And now he has no other choice but to take her under his wing. And I knew that their relationship was going to go like even further. And it ended off in a good note. So they go to a motel, and then he ties her up to the bed, like kind of like Russian style, tapes her mouth and all that. And this horrible villain, his name is Pilgrim, right? That's his villain name. But like, what was his real name? It is John Pilgrim, but he goes by Pilgrim. What were the writers of Marvel Comics thinking back in the day when they wrote this character? I really hope that they aren't saying like, oh, Christians are bad people. They're trying to, like, they're a disease, they're trying to control us. Like, I'm sorry, but if that was the case, then I'm going to say this. I am truly offended because we have been accused for a long time for stuff that we didn't even do, I mean, us real Christians, we know what we're doing and we're speaking the truth, but, with the Karens out there and the SJWs and all that, like I'm trying to be a Chad here, especially on YouTube. So I'm trying my best, guys. So if I'm not, I need to step it up a bit, teach the Karens a lesson. So don't be saying that us Christians are bad. And whoever said the God's Not Dead movies are offensive, they're a freaking idiot. Like, their representation on how Christians should be, okay? And the atheists need to take it in hard. Like, they've lost in every movie. They've lost because, oh, we're so offensive, apparently. Get the frick over it. I've heard enough. I've had enough. Anyways, why don't we go on to Billy Russo's character now? So we find out that he's having therapy sessions of his own, I think, but in the hospital, though. And he wears a mask because Marvel really pulled this off with Jigsaw. I really did not like the model that they done on his counterpart in Warzone. Like, oh, it's just so bad. With this one, like, I'm sure they put a lot of work in it, but like, there was a few scars, but like, they made it work. Like, I don't know if they wanted to make him look extra creepy, but like, it works. Okay, like, I'm like, oh wow. He's looking pretty decent for a Jigsaw. Anyways, so he's getting therapy by this chick, Krista Dumont, which, by the way, I recognize the actress. She was in Supergirl. She started on season 2, and I knew she was like a bad character, a freak. So I'm like, I knew I recognized her. Holy frick. So the plot of this season with the bad guys, it's so complicated to explain because there's blackmailing, there's pictures going on, and like and all these deaths. Again, with the pictures, that was definitely an idea from the first movie, and with Jigsaw, from Warzone. Um, let's see what else. Like I've seen so many connections. Like maybe they were really inspired by the movies. They're like, why don't we turn the season into like kind of like two movies? So I really thought Pilgrim and Jigsaw were going to team up. That would have been cool, I guess. Um, Pilgrim, he was saying all these quotes and Bible verses, from the Bible, but like you need to repent, man. Honestly, like if you claim who you say you are, then you shouldn't be killing people and doing all these bad things. Like, no. I get that you have a sick wife. I get that, but that doesn't give you the right or an excuse to like go find. I guess he was trying to find a cure to um, find like a medicine for his wife, and he has two boys. And like the real villains behind this, like they were using him to like get rid of people, were parents of their kid, who's also named David, who's a U.S. senator, and he's the victim. What else? Oh, I liked how Dinah kept getting pissed off every single time about Billy because like, and she thought he was BSing about like he doesn't remember, because remember when I said like Frank hit his head so hard and it actually caused him like memory loss? Like, it caused him so much pain and headaches, and he keeps getting visions and nightmares of like the skull of the Punisher, but he doesn't see his face until like the reveal. Um, so there was a point where Billy could have just snapped. Well, he's still considered a psychopath, but like there was a point in every episode where he could have just clicked. Like he would have been dead right away. Let's see. Frick. Unfortunately, the real David did not appear in this season either. Like, come on! I want just one episode with him, just like a follow up, like a catch up. Hopefully, they'll hire him back to play him again for the MCU, because that would be pretty cool. What else? And just like in Warzone, Billy starts a brotherhood, if you will. Like he starts like a gang. So he recruits mostly these veterans who kind of lost their way, and they want to continue to serve their country, but he's manipulating them like, oh, this is how you're supposed to serve your country, So he switched the right and wrongs the other directions. Yeah, it's called Frick You, Billy. Sure, he had some cool moments in both of the seasons, really. It's just, there were a lot of moments where he was just sound so annoying. Like, he kind of talked like this and all that, especially when he was calm and all that. I had no idea Ben Barnes was British too. Like the British are taking over, but he pulled off his American accent so nice. Let's see what else. Again, I was just rooting for Dinah. Really, she had a lot of cool moments, and when it came to what was it, the season finale. Again, I apologize if I don't explain much here because, like I said, I can't explain every episode. But like, apparently, Billy and his therapist, if you will, they start dating. Something happened, like physically, like it was violent, but like, and Dino was visiting with his therapist to get some like evidence, as the therapist is trying to get information from her, but they both don't know it. So the second time, Dina, tells her about a background check, and it's a force of habit. I don't blame her. So they have a fight, and apparently the therapist, when she was a kid, like she has this really big but long scar on her back, and she has like 4 scars, like they're lines on her arm. And apparently her dad fell out of a window intentionally. So she kept having like kind of like not like these visions, but like her vision was starting to like get like kind of closing in on her. Like she has that fear, like, oh no, if I jump out of the window, I'm gonna die. And that's what happened. So Dinah like pushed her, and then the therapist's fear came true. And when I didn't see a lot of blood because when you go down that hard, you go splat. Okay, let's be real. But either she got experimented on, or I don't know what the heck she's taking, but she survived the fall. And Billy, he was just standing right in front of her, and like I'm looking at him like, that's your girlfriend. You're supposed to be helping her to get up, and then you look up, and oh my gosh. And that's when Billy and Dinah hash it out. He was just choking her. Oh my gosh. But she shot him 3 times and he fell into the side. But thank God she survived. And when Mahoney, one of the police officers, or was he the detective? I don't know. Sergeant? I don't know. He wakes her up, and let me tell you, he's been very pissed at her in the last few episodes, but he finally got her attention. Like he was this close to firing her because she was actually doing her job. But then he felt really bad for her, and like she was just so crying. She was just all crying. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I was just like, if you were real, I want to give you a big hug, big time. Like now, I really want to meet Amber Rose, Riva. Like if I ever meet her one day, I want to give her a big hug. Just like I want to be like, I felt your pain. I felt your pain in the last episode of The Punisher. So Billy is badly injured. He's thrown to a dumpster, but he goes to the one place where Curtis goes with his support group, and he calls for Curtis. But then Frank, like, he really needs to like kill him big time. Like that's his promise that he made. So, like how the villain, like they always make that speech like in their final moments, but then Frank is just like, oh my gosh. And remember when I said that Frank's and Amy's relationship would like develop? It developed big time. Like he loved her like she was his own daughter, and teaching her how to like shoot a gun and all that. Like I love that. I love those father-daughter like connections. Like any connections like that. Like I am here for it. And as soon as like he was dropping her off at the bus station, he was like confessing his his unconditional feelings for her, and like I wanted them to hug. So like yeah, finally, like in the end, that's when there's a gang at a warehouse, and then he's like, he has the full costume again. He's like, hey, I'll dance with you. Oh my gosh. Seriously though, in the final moments of this show, I thought him and Dinah were gonna hook up big time, but like, nope, that's never gonna happen. So, but I hope they bring Dinah back again for the MCU. There's so many Netflix characters I want them to bring back for the MCU because Disney has the rights now. Let me just do this quick. I'll turn my volume down. Okay, guys. So that was it. That was my review of all of the Marvel Netflix shows, the Defender Saga, that again once used to be on Netflix, now on Disney Plus. And if you have Disney Plus, if you have the parental controls, like you got a passcode and all that, so you can get all the adult content. Again, I like this, like in 20th Century Fox, because Disney owns Fox. Fox has a lot of R-rated content, right? So I know that they're going to put R-rated Fox content in there. And if they could put the director's cut of Daredevil on there, that'd be so sweet. They've already added Logan and the 2 Deadpool movies on there. So, like, I definitely enjoy Logan for sure. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Please turn the post notification bell and share my content if you haven't already. And please, I beg of you guys, when I say this, do not take any of this personally or be offended by this because, again, these are my personal opinions. I can have opinions too, just like you guys. But I want to, I'm so sorry. I want to hear your guys' opinions too about these shows. Do you love all the shows, or is there some that you like, or what's your personal preferences? Like, again, my top 3 is definitely Daredevil, Iron Fist, and the Defenders. I'm planning to buy these shows on Vudu too, so like the only 4 I'm buying, like again, you guys know Daredevil, Iron Fist, the Defenders, and the Punisher. Seriously, those 4 shows are that good. Again, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, like they didn't deliver crap, let's say, because again, leading up to the hand stuff and the Defender stuff, sure, like they were the 2 other key pivotal characters for the Defenders, but like we didn't need all this extra stuff. Like I love stuff that leads up to an important event, like with the Avengers. Nick Fury was talking about the Avenger Initiative. That's what got me interested and excited for the Avengers. And we all thought these characters were going to show up in Endgame. Like when the portals are coming, everybody's coming back, and Doctor Strange and Wong, they're like, "Is that everyone? What, you wanted more?" Like, yeah, we're the Netflix Avengers. Come on. The theaters would have gone nuts. Like we would have oh my gosh. Even if sure, I didn't watch the shows back then, but still I would have been like, "Oh my gosh, they finally did it, guys. Woohoo!" Okay, I'm trying to feel the back of my webcam because it likes to heat for whatever reason. Excuse me. Also, what's your all-time favorite show? Again, you guys know mine. It's 10 out of 10 Daredevil because it's the #1 Netflix Marvel show. Seriously. And I think that's a fact too, because it was like the most highest rated Marvel Netflix show. When it came to the negotiations and all that, I don't know, there was royalties involved again with Disney and ABC Studios. I think now was the time for the fandom to come back, because I wish I could have at least watched Daredevil right away, be more interested back in the day. But then again, I was 14 years old. I don't know if I was really interested at that time. Again, I was interested in the character of Daredevil in general, but I really wish I could have understood the fandom more, but better late than never, though, guys, right? So these 4 shows in particular, they're the most important part of my life now. I'm freaking 22, guys, so I could still watch whatever I want. It's just, obviously, we need to be careful what we watch, though, but these shows definitely take the good cake, seriously. I just hope that the Defenders will come in really soon. You know how Sony is oh, we want to bring back Tom, Andrew, and Toby's Spider-Man's back together soon. Yeah, we gotta do that with the Defenders. Change up their story arcs. We need a Heroes for Hire Disney Plus series. Do the best you can. Now I'm more focused on Echo, Spider-Man Freshman Year, and of course Daredevil Born Again. Of course, we got to mention the Kingpin's, appearance in Hawkeye, right? How could I forget that? I was talking about the other Disney projects that I forgot to mention him in Hawkeye. I'm sure most of you guys have watched the later episodes because of the Kingpin, right? He was still the same. He even confirmed, oh, the writers and the directors told me I should act the same, from the Netflix show. Can you imagine if all the Netflix villains came together? Kingpin, there's no doubt, Kingpin would be the ultimate leader for this team. And if there was such a baddie team, if you will, in the comics, let me know. Take all the villains from each show and then put them all together and find out if there's a comic book line like that. So Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin will be my all-time favorite Kingpin because, like I said, he's intimidating and scary, and Vincent D'Onofrio knows how to play the Kingpin so well. Wilson Fisk, oh my gosh, especially the way he talks. I think it's pretty cool. Vanessa, I love you so much. The Devil Hell's Kitchen has ruined my life. I need my empire back. That probably sucked, but tell me in the comments, 1 out of 10, guys. What do you think of that impression? I'm sure you guys can do better than me. Anyways, again, Thank you again so much for watching. I'll make sure to leave timestamps in the comments below. So, yeah. Again, thanks so much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks, bye. And may the Lord be with you guys always, guys. Peace out, guys. Remember, Avengers assemble. All right, you guys have a good night. Bye, guys.